In the lead-up to the 1995 season, we thought this would be the rivalry of the year. The reigning AFL day premiers from the West Coast against the reigning night premiers, featuring the great Wayne Carey against the formidable Glenn Jakovich. Like many things in footy, it hasn't quite panned out like that. Today the Roos and the Eagles are vying not for top place, but for that all-important spot in the top four. From Optus Oval, North Melbourne hosts the West Coast on AFL Saturday.
Yes, thank you, Craig Willis. It is a funny old game. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Optus Oval on a cool, wintry day here in Melbourne. But it's a very, very important match between North Melbourne, it's like a grand final for North Melbourne, and the West Coast Eagles, who would dearly love to finish in the top four. This could shape the pattern of the final eight, so I hope wherever you're watching, you'll certainly stay with us and have a most enjoyable afternoon. Of course, the round got underway last night under lights at the MCG, and I guess in many ways we said farewell to Hawthorn for this year, because they went down to Richmond and any finals hopes they had also went too. Richmond 13-21-99, Hawthorn 8-7-55. But the latter certainly does make very interesting viewing. You can see the importance of this game, particularly for the West Coast Eagles and North Melbourne, both desperately trying to climb up just a little higher. And as you can also see by that, it looks as though the 8 is just about settled.
The 1995 AFL Premiership season, brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, McDonald's, Mobil, Carlton Draft and National Australia Bank.
Certainly is a big round of football. Other matches being played today out at Waverley. St Kilda play host to Adelaide, who will be hoping to travel a little better than they have. And Melbourne plays Essendon at the MCG. So they're the other matches, and we'll have highlights of the St Kilda game a little bit later on. But here come the West Coast Eagles, a winning team. Well, certainly back in town last week, Chris Lewis leading their goal kicking with 6 goals, 3, and they'll be looking for plenty more from him up forward this afternoon. Out he comes with Glenn Jakovich. The West Coast Eagles out on the ground here at Optus Oval. Plenty of action at the MCG though, a big game there, and hopefully a big crowd too, between Melbourne and Essendon. For more on that, 2 champs of the game, Peter Landy and Ross Glendinning. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks, Sandy. Good afternoon. Well, we've certainly got the crowd, Roscoe, and I hope the game's just as good as the first time they met. I saw that game, and the Bombers won it by 16 points. But looking at the form of the sides, Essendon was unbeaten at that stage of the year. Melbourne, you may remember, lost their first 6.
Yes, they've really got themselves back on track, Melbourne, Pete, and I've got a lot of respect for them. And I just hope today, in the absence of 2 of their midfielders, Tim Gay and Glenn
missing his first game for the year.
Yeah, so it's a shame because they are such very good players, and they would have been required to match up against that very good midfield of Essendon. So, and also that Essendon midfield feeds those big fellas up forward, with Alessio coming back. Mark Harvey, of course, fantastic to see him back in the senior side. So let's hope it's a great tourney.
One change that there may be here, Sandy, Cummings didn't take his place in the reserves this afternoon, so the rumour is that O'Connor is not playing and Cummings coming in to take his place. But just recapping, a good crowd and probably around about the 50,000 mark here at the moment. We've had a couple of passing showers, but despite the fact that the ground was used last night, the surface has come up pretty well, so we're expecting a good one.
Yes, good on you, boys. Thank you very much. And a warm welcome now to the man who made the back pocket his very own, Terry Wheeler. Welcome, Terence.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you very much.
Very, very important game for North Melbourne. And here they come, the Jumping Joeys are going to hit their straps. Well, they'll certainly need to today. They've lost their last 4 against the West Coast Eagles. Terry, let's have a look at the squad.
Well, it certainly must have been a concern during the week for Dennis Pagan, and his efforts would have been generated around restoring the confidence and belief that these players need to have in themselves to do so very, very well. They're certainly looking to improve their pace around the ground, and Robert Scott is one of those players who has to do that. Robert Scott playing his 150th league game today after 132 at Geelong. He needs to be a steady goal contributor this afternoon. Also playing his 150th game is Matthew Armstrong, and quite ironically, Sandy, also 132 games at his previous club, which is Fitzroy, because his experience has been invaluable. And Dean Laidley, a former Eagle, could very well be pitched against John Worsfold, who has spent time at half forward over the last few weeks, and what a clash that would be. Worsfold and Laidley, two very, very hard men.
Speaking of the man, there he is wearing number 24, and he's been amongst the goals in the last week or so and has been enjoying it.
And that's most important for them. West Coast still base their game around defence, but their ability to score goals is very, very important. And their goal kicking has now started to come home, and they really are a sleeping giant starting to stir. And Chris Lewis has been one of those players who has contributed to that. 6 goals last week, a hand in another 4, very valuable. Glenn Jakovic, well, we are looking forward to the match against Carey if it eventuates. On most occasions to date, Jakovic has proven to be just too physically strong. And Paul Pios, an Eagle returning home after spending time with the Brisbane Bears. 3 goals last week from half forward. Very handy contribution. Sandy?
Yes, good to see Paul Pios coming back. I do remember him one day out at Waverley getting absolutely pelted by hailstones as he was shooting for goal. But he'll be looking for a big game today here at Optus. We'll take a break and then be back with all the action.
Dynamic bomber Michael Long joins the team on Talking Footy. Monday nights on 7.
Welcome back to Optus Oval. Both sides out on the ground. The toss has taken place. It's been won by the Eagles, Johnny Worsfold, and he's kicking to the left and kicking with a slight breeze as we welcome our boundary rider. And here he is, the Dipper. Welcome, Dipper.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Actually, it's just a bit wet to be on the boundary today, so I'm under the comfort of Lisa's umbrella here. Unfortunately, the rain has come down the last 25 minutes, and the ground is very, very soft and very heavy underfoot. The middle of the ground is not too bad. The wind condition, as you mentioned, is about 2 to 3 goal breeze towards the big scoreboard. And I'm going for West Coast Eagles. And obviously, Lisa, you're both from North Melbourne. Who's your favourite player?
Oh, Carey, of course. You second, Dipper.
Oh, what can I say, Sandy?
Oh, that's unbelievable. I reckon you would have found Lisa even if it wasn't raining. Oh, dear. Brian Sheehan is one of the men in charge. He's wearing number 9 this afternoon here at Optus. Greg Scoop is wearing number 21. And in number 32 is Darren Goldspink. As we also welcome to the microphone Russell Morris. Welcome, Russell.
Good afternoon, Sandy. How you going? Looking forward to a great game today.
Your selection?
West Coast, I think, today.
Terry, in a word, your selection.
West Coast, Sandy.
So here we go, a vital game for both sides.
Carey's in the middle too,
and
Sandy.
Carey in the middle, that's interesting. Oh, the opening bounce with big Alex Achenko going up against Turnbull, who's played every game this year. Here's the football held to him, and there'll be a bounce.
That is an interesting move from Dennis Pagan. I think it's very important that he allow Wayne Carey to get himself into the game early. Jakovic has propped himself at centre half back, and we also have McKernan back in the back pocket against Jason Ball.
Still virtually in the middle again. It's Turnbull who wins it, but it should be North Melbourne through Smith who get the first kick. First effective kick up towards the half-forward line. Lyle had it for a moment. Could have almost been pushed. Archer showed plenty of aggression. Scott tried to get it out, playing his 150th. Stevens came in over the top. Scott is there as well. Carey waiting for it. Didn't come out. He's still there. It's eventually socket off the ground. Back in towards the middle. Ishenko flicks it clear. Here's a chance for North Melbourne. Wayne Carey goes up to full forward. Longmire is there. Was he interfered with? No. Schwartz, beautiful smother. Kept in play, and another fine smother. The Eagles starting well. Schwartz is going to get another shot. He goes across the face of goal and kicks it behind.
A great start there. Wayne Schwartz actually lining up at centre half forward, and this will put the pressure on Glenn Jakovic as North Melbourne look to run the ball. As we look at the North Melbourne bench of Roberts, Rock and Pyman, but North Melbourne looking to run the ball through the midfield, hit the square and overpass centre half forward.
So McKenna to bring it back into play. The Eagles, as we said, kicking with a slight breeze. Drops it in short towards Brennan. Michael Brennan marks on half-back. Oh, he's got a couple loose wide. Waterman and Jakovic are both there. It's Waterman who takes it, thinks about the hand pass, and eventually does give it to Glenn Jakovic. And he strides away. A floating kick up towards Jason Ball, who forgot about the football. Wilson didn't. Flicks it over the top to Johnny Worsfold. Worsfold tucked in the pocket, rides one bump, tries to get boot. The ball is slung, and eventually it's socket away towards Gehrig. Fraser Gehrig keeps it in play. No, he doesn't. Out of bounds, and a throw in
And Sandy, Dean Kemp opening the game on the bench, returning this week from 1 week of a thigh injury, being worked into the game quietly by Michael Malthouse.
So Garrick will do the ruck work here. Carey comes over the top, a cry of Louis. The informed Chris Lewis runs out of room, receiving good strong attention from Anthony Stevens. He's informed. Chris Lewis though, 6'3" last week. And a very good performance. Turnbull comes across to do the ruck work. Can go it alone. He does. Trying to storm through his freeborn. Couldn't take it. Armstrong playing his 150th. Laidley flattened by Worsfold, but he gets his kick up towards centre wing. Archer's been very strong and hard at the football early on, and that's pleasing from North's point of view. Blakey's going to be paid the football just forward of the wing. John Blakey playing his 194th game, so he'll be hoping for a big finals campaign to join the 200 club, but that one drops short, and the mark taken by Jakovic.
McKenna on his left foot kicks out. No, it's Waterman. Kicks it straight to Gehrig on the wing. Off to Brennan now. Brennan making a lot of yards out of the back line. Kicking up towards the West Coast forwards, but McKernan jumps in front of ball for a very timely mark for North Melbourne. McKernan looking for a lead. Goes up towards centre wing looking for Archer. Strong work again, as Sandy mentioned. Excellent play by Archer, providing lots of options for North Melbourne. Looking wide for Schwartz, but only straight towards McKenna. Kicking too wide. McKenna been a great player for West Coast this season. Goes safe up towards centre wing. Looking for Turley. Punch clear by tough Ross Smith. Great state defender. Smith. North Melbourne go inboard to Allison. Stevens now on his left foot. Has to rush the ball up towards centre forward. Longmire keeping his body in front of the ball. Excellent play. Archer again, great body work, but picked up by the West Coast defence. McKenna is safe as usual along the ground and straight over the boundary line for safe football.
Yes, he just had to thread his way through as we have a look at the Eagles bench, and Dean Kemp starting on the sideline with Bond and Banfield. Showery old day in Melbourne, but it's the middle of winter. Jakovic caught one behind play and should get a free kick. He's on halfback. Fantastic player. High, long drop punt to half forward. Good mark by Corey McKernan. They defend beautifully. Off to Laidley. And Peter McKenna's junkyard dog goes to the outer side, and John Blakey. Blakey from centre wing, long and low, up towards the half-forward line. Wanted Schwartz, who had front spot. Waiting down is Robert Scott. Couldn't get an effective kick away. Pressure now on the Eagles' defence. It comes clear. A snap in towards goal, and the mark's been taken by Longmire. The horse celebrated his birthday. Well, the four-legged ones did anyway earlier this week. And he's going to have a shot. He's kicked 32 goals and 17 behinds for the year. This for the first goal of the day. 25 metres out, almost directly in front, and North are away.
Well, things have settled down well for North Melbourne. Carey still looking to float into the forward line. Jakovic waiting for him. But one of the important parts here is the matchup here. We've got Robert Scott playing on Peter Matera on the wing. And now here's Scott's the player who in actual fact gets the quick kick. And Longmire playing in front and well returns it for the goal.
Longmire's 33rd goal for the season. North Melbourne 7 behinds, West Coast yet to score. Ashenko, no one manages to win. In the favour of Robert Scott this time, he's caught. McKenna hit hard by the North Melbourne defence. Oh, run away by King this time up towards centre forward. Archer in front, good body work, Schwartz over the top. A great mark to Schwartz and paid.
No one in the square, he can go over the top.
Schwartz about 40 metres out, directly in front, looking to put North Melbourne's second goal on the board.
It was quite incredible, Sandy, that the whole pack of players were around that contest and no one within 40 yards of goal. Schwartz could have run on.
But he wasn't in the position though, Terry. Like, there was a lot of players around. If he'd played on, he can still make the distance. Schwass, 40 metres out. Kick looks great.
A great opening there from North Melbourne, getting the first 2 goals, Longmire and now Schwass. And it's just throwing the Eagles' defence out a little bit with Carey beginning in the centre of the ground. Therefore, that drags Djakovic well up and allows Archer and Schwass now showing how well he marks to be the focal points in the forward line. Malthouse needs now to balance his defence against this new set-up North Melbourne offence.
North kicking into the breeze and making a positive start as Ashenko rips it down towards the half-forward line. Wanted Archer. Djakovic has got to defend. There's pressure on this defence now for the West Coast Eagles. It comes wide towards the wing. Scott couldn't take it. Matera towards the line and over. Peter Matera playing in his 112th game. Marvellous finals player. Smith. Simpson gets it out. Carey caught, and that was very deliberate over the line. He had a look, Ryan Turnbull, around at the umpire, and I think may have breathed a sigh of relief.
Sandy Mick Malthouse has taken Hart off because of Schwass's goal and Banfield onto him.
West Coast odds-on favourites to win this. Carey off the ground he goes, down towards half-forward. The West Coast runner got in the way of Archer there for a moment. Brennan, in the meantime, has the football.
He fell over, Sandy.
To centre wing. Oh, Turnbull, a fine grab. Could almost be 50, Alex. No need to just rip him back like that.
Very similar to Bullis's against Fremantle a couple of weeks ago, Sandy. Nearly cost them the game.
Well, it's going to give the Eagles a chance for not only their first score, but for their first goal. He's going to be kicking from 45. He's got a slight breeze at his back. However, he's kicked 2 goals and 12 behinds for the season as Alex pays the price and is removed from the ground. Is this going to be 2-13 or 3-12? Looks pretty good. The Eagles have their first.
And Alex Ashenko coming off the ground almost immediately there to the telephone. Dennis Pagan obviously expressing his discontent at Alex Ashenko giving away that indiscriminate 50-metre penalty, which allowed Turnbull to kick his 3rd goal for the season, you said.
North Melbourne 2-1, playing West Coast 1 solitary goal. Good tap on by Turnbull that time. Matera can't pick up the ball. Chance for Stevens. Kicks it on his left foot up towards centre forward. Archer doing some great option work for North Melbourne at centre forward. Can't pick it up. Good defence by West Coast, battling it up. North Melbourne are throwing their bodies in. Desperate stuff. Pagan must have ripped into them during the week.
Russell, they do. They look very pumped up, North Melbourne. They've been aggressive at the ball. They've been aggressive at the opposition player once they have possession. This North Melbourne side really looks ready to go.
White gets the tap out to Lewis. Good knock against Longmire in the ruck. Up towards centre wing. Johnny Worsfold. Good strong mark in front of Laidley. The junkyard dog tried to punch but didn't connect the footy. Worsfold looks for the lead. It's ball. Shoved out. The play on the ball goes over the boundary line, just about on 50-metre mark from the West Coast goal in front of the Optus scoreboard. Paul Pierce. Ashenko wouldn't be a happy man after that last error. 50-metre penalty cost them a goal. Ball and McKernan, no one the winner. Worsfold under the pack with King. Players on top, another ball up. 50 metres out at the 12-minute mark of the first quarter. North Melbourne 13 play West Coast 6. Ball up. King has an opportunity now on his left foot. Kicks him out of trouble, but only out of bounds on the full.
Yes, it'll be Ryan Turnbull to bring it back into play. He's a long, long way from home, but he'll put them inside 50. He's got Jason Ball in front of the pack. Corey McKernan, who gets it away towards Laidley, just gets his kick in time. Scott could have got one in the back. He's having a real ding-dong battle with Matera. And it's over the line for another throw in. Matera pleads for a deliberate, but it falls on deaf ears as John Blakey picks himself up. Wilson comes over the top to do the ruck work. Smith slips but regains his footing. Spirals one towards Roberts. Lewis does the roving for the Eagles. The dangerous Chris Lewis in towards full forward. Oh, Turley, if he can pick himself up, and he can. Craig Turley gets his first and his 16th for the season.
He certainly has come back to be a very good player, Craig Turley, after putting himself into what was premature retirement. The former best and fairest winner for the Eagles has come back, and he's really given something across that half-forward line for the West Coast Eagles, and his best bag has been 4 goals. This afternoon will be a great time to reproduce that.
Schwartz is now back in the middle. It's 13 plays 12, North Melbourne's favour. Pike off the ground, very clever stuff, only straight up in the air. Umpire calls play on, and that is the case. And a ball up. Brian Sheehan decides to ball up in the centre of the ground. Roberts in the ruck against Turnbull. Pushing and shoving, Pike and Stevens. Stevens won't let Pike stand where he wants to be. Good tap on by North Melbourne. Off the ground attempt by King. Successful. Banfield in front, caught with the ball by Schwartz. North Melbourne supporters not happy, Terry. A ball up, 45 metres out from North Melbourne's goal.
Fine tackle indeed. So a big chance for North Melbourne. Well, they've got it in the zone. Carey, if he can get the hand pass away. He can't. Archer, though, will snap it. Goal. It's away to the left and one behind. He's made a very exciting start, Glenn Archer.
He has, Sandy, both in the air and at ground level. There's a real solid determination at ground level for North Melbourne in this forward line. They realise that with the structure they've got, they have to work there. They're all very much committed towards it.
Mitchell White marks at half back. Removes Mark Roberts, then goes back to take his kick. He's got Lewis alone on centre wing. Doesn't come quite that wide, although Lewis could do the roving. No, he doesn't. Instead, Garrick's going to have to chase. And he's pushed the Williamstown fisherman in the back. And so he is going to take the free kick fairly. Up towards centre wing. Carey the target, couldn't find him. Jakovic naturally there. Brennan close by, off to Turley. It comes to ground. Brennan's down there once again. There's been a push. And it's going the way of Anthony Stevens. He wastes no time. He belts it down towards Schwartz and King. King comes charging through with a glove. White tries to get it out for the West Coast Eagles. McKenna is as steady as a rock. He gives it to Simmons, and the Eagles are away. Back towards centre wing. Smith floated a fraction too early. Garrick gets caught. He soccers off the ground. Lewis will leave it for his teammate in Lyle. Lyle, an excellent hand pass to Wilson. He should goal. He's 25 out, but he's pulled it to the left. Chance going begging there, Terry.
It is Peter Wilson. Is certainly there to kick those goals. He works extremely hard, and being able to get that opportunity there should have made better of that, and would certainly displease Michael Malthouse as he looks on from the coach's box.
Kick out. Long kick, 55 metres to a pack. Carey in front, unable to take the mark. Good punch away by Jakovic. Mark Roberts now chance to mop up. Not given that opportunity too easily by Banfield, but a free kick has been awarded to a North Melbourne defender.
Yeah, against Wilson, and it's going to go to Freeborn.
Freeborn on the half-back flank, kicking up towards centre wing, looking for Longmo's not in front. Good punch away by Longmo anyway. Stevens to mop up. High ball to Brennan. Unable to mark Jakovic now. Good handball to Turley. Turley a floater. Inside 50. 3 North Melbourne players spoil each other, but Freeborn manages to mop up. Good clean kick by Anderson out wide. Change direction for North Melbourne. Blakey and McKenna. McKenna, good body work. Solid stuff. Diving on top of it is Blakey again, and Waterman. And a ball up on centre wing.
Gee, it's going to be a brawling game, this one this afternoon. I reckon it's going to be a ripper.
Well, it's a heavy ground, Sandy, so there'll be a lot of bodies on the turf.
It's on centre wing, as Russell said. Flicked wide. No one able to get away for North Melbourne. In fact, it was Lyle, only as far as Smith. But look at them pounce upon him. Craig Turley. Oh! Still on centre wing. Overcast day. Cool day. There will be intermittent showers. But that's going to take nothing away from the desperation of these two sides. Wilson soccers off the ground. Puts them well inside 50. Past Jason Ball. Out comes North Melbourne's defence in the form of Simpson. He gets it away towards Freeborn. Freeborn is clear on the outer side. Kicks up towards centre wing. Big pack of players. Fisted down. A chance for the runners now. Turley takes the hand pass. Puts them inside 50 once again. No mark taken. McKernan on all fours. Tries to flick it away. Sock it off the ground. Matera and Scott. The latter has it now. Matera's on the top of him. And they decide that it's a line ball. Will have a bounce. On 50 for the West Coast. Smith tries to get it out. He gets a short kick. It's only as far as Waterman. He gets claimed from behind by Carey. It opens it up for Roberts, who gives it to Smith. Fine play by the captain. Up towards half forward. Archer does the roving work for Longmire. Pulls it round his body. Puts them inside 50. Blakey's there. He needs someone going past. Oh, maybe he doesn't. He might do it on his own. He was held, and he'll get a free kick.
He was looking for the support player to be there. He wasn't there, and well, fortune favoured him here with the handball out in front, then being tackled by the West Coast Eagles when the ball was not in his possession, and rightfully awarded this free kick from some 45 metres out.
Has not missed a game this year. One of 9 North Melbourne players to have played every game, so they've been reasonably settled when you compare them to the Eagles, who only got a couple. That kick, however, is to the left and through for one behind. Banfield and Turnbull, the only Eagles to have played every game. 2-3, plays 2-1 with just under 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
McKenna, designated kicker for the West Coast, goes wide looking for Turley. Ball is close to the bandrel and manages to keep it in, only to find it.
Mick Malthouse looking to pinch this last goal before the quarter-time break, with Shane Bond coming on and Paul Pios off.
Throw in about 55 metres around from North Melbourne's goal. Roberts in front over everyone's head. Armstrong a chance. He's caught. Ball on the ground again. Heavy conditions. Tried to flick over by Allison. Turley on the ground in front, using their bodies.
Didn't have it.
Free kick to Turley for holding the man. North Melbourne supporters again not happy. Craig Turley to clear for West Coast. Electing to go straight up towards centre wing, looking for Fraser Gehrig in front of Fairley. Fairley encroaching over his shoulder, and a free kick to Gehrig. Fraser Gehrig, one of the young West Coast potential stars up forward. Big left footer up towards the 50-metre mark. Rossi Smith coming across with great courage, a great punch by him in front of Jason Ball and McKernan.
Doesn't he hold that defence together? Rossi Smith, the most experienced player on the North Melbourne list, playing 214th game today.
Turnbull tries to flick it round with the left hand, but there's that Smith again. It's a tap on the back from his teammates as he shows the way. Five minutes to go in this first quarter. It's evened up now. North getting away with a couple of early goals. Pike kicked in danger. Schwartz to take it. Oh, well, no, he'll give it to Armstrong. The 150 gamer gets a possession as he gives it back to Schwartz. Wayne Schwartz kicks in towards the middle. Wants Carey. flicked away by Jakovic. Pike applies a very effective tackle. The ball spills free. Turley's in with a chance, but it's chopped off. North go forward again, down towards the right half forward flank. The kick came from Freeborn. Matera, look at the skills of Peter Matera. Sensational to watch. Now Banfield, a little bit of time, onto the left foot, kicks up over centre wing. Couple of North Melbourne players there. One was Stuart Anderson. He couldn't take the mark. It comes clear to Schwass from Freeborn. Now North Melbourne a chance as King goes long up towards full forward. The pack is there. No one able to take it. Carey does the roving. Carey kicks the goal.
Well, the result is there. Wayne Carey getting his first goal. But the play was initiated right back at half-back where Glenn, and you just saw it there, Glenn Freeborn, a backhanded fist just to keep the ball alive via King now long into the forward line, and Carey not there at the contest but doing the roving, finishes it off.
Carey kicks his first, North Melbourne's third. 21 plays 13. Turnbull gets the big fist forward for West Coast, only to find Ross Smith, who's on fire, breaks clear out towards centre wing, only to find no North Melbourne teammates, but McKenna. McKenna gives it to Pike. Plenty of time. Pike kicks high, trying to get some assistance with that wind. Ross Smith again. Very reliable defender. Off to the junkyard dog, Laidley. Laidley kicks it up towards centre wing. Through Roberts' hands, going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment. Turnbull kicks straight for touch, straight to the boundary line.
He likes that boundary line, Terry.
There's been a couple, Sandy. I don't know whether the umpires will keep a mental note, but I'd start going a little bit more goalward if I were he.
North by 8 points in a good tight contest. Armstrong take it from the throw-in, but under pressure from Waterman. Armstrong towards the line. He's playing his 150th today with Robert Scott. We wish them both well. Fairly, strongly at the football, charges forward, and it finishes over the line. Missed some of the season with a pin inserted in his hand, but is back in business now. Roberts and Turnbull do the leading. Blakey comes over the top. No one able to get it away effectively. Roberts tries to sneak clear of Turley, and he's picked out a free kick. It's going against North Melbourne as Alex Oshenko prepares to come on. Well, the quarter's almost gone, Big Alex. No mark taken. Laidley at the back hopes to tidy up for North Melbourne. And Wayne Schwass this time finds the boundary line, and he's lost that one. Well, where is the consistency, Terry?
No, it wasn't evident there, was it, Sandy? Banfield, a lucky recipient.
Goes short to Pike, and Don Pike. Kicked 12 goals for the season. North fans not happy. Oshenko's back on. He wants ball. He can't take the mark. It comes out the back. Speared away from Turley, but it's still inside the West Coast Eagles 50. Now socket towards the line and over. No deliberate call there. It was booted over by Freeborn, and we'll have a throw in.
He's had a good start, Sandy, Freeborn.
My word. Yep. Oshenko back in the fray. Tries to get it down to Wayne Schwass. He lost it, and a bounce will take place.
I'm not sure whether I would have brought Alex Oshenko back on at this stage. I think Mark Roberts' mobility through the centre of the ground was giving North Melbourne an edge, and with only minutes to play, may have been a little bit premature by Dennis Pagan.
It's just on 2 minutes remaining. Lewis somehow gets clear, gives it to Peter Wilson. Slews slightly off the side of the boot, but goes in towards half forward. Big fist away by Fairley. Here's a chance for Braden Lyle. Lyle's inside 50, but he's under pressure from McKernan, and he's gone. Plays on to half-back. Great interception by the running guy, McKenna. Fantastic. And a throw-in.
McKenna only 26, Sandy, but a very mature footballer, champion for West Coast. Throw in, 55 out. Only over a minute to go. Laidley goes towards the boundary line. McKenna intercepts, and King both push towards the boundary line. Crowd call for deliberate, but throw in. Just short of centre wing. North Melbourne 3-3 playing West Coast 2-1. 21 plays 13. Waterman along the ground. Bond along the ground this time. Ross Smith now not in a real hurry to get it back into play. Handballs it very cleverly along the ground for out of bounds. Ross Smith, 4 kicks and 4 handballs and 1 mark. A great quarter off that half-back line for North Melbourne. Throw in inside 50. Wilson up for the grab against Freeborn. And Darren Goldsmith decides to ball it up. Pagan, the Brains Trust, Elshaw and Rodney Eade, very concerned about North Melbourne's form the last 3 weeks. Kick goes in towards the pocket and sits in the mud and rolls out of bounds about 2 metres around from the point post. Jason Ball and McKernan to contest this ruck. Throw in. McKernan over the back, finds Ross Smith off to... It was Stevens it was, I missed that, got it. He's kicked it up towards the centre now. Archer spins around on his left, doing a lot of good work up forward for North Melbourne. Kicks high, up towards the 50, over King's Head. Brennan unable to mark, Banfield to clear. Out to Turley now, out of pressure for the West Coast, back towards centre wing. Gehrig looking for a one-hander. Fairley, good punch by Fairley. Now, by Lyle, round on the right foot, only to find Ross Smith again, we've mentioned. Would have to be best on the ground so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic term. He finds Wayne Schwass, who wants to get back onto that left side. He's still going, takes the hand pass back again, kicks up towards the half-forward line. Seconds ticking away now, and it's gone. Adam Simpson takes the mark, but he'd be a miracle man, and he won't even try it from there. So it's quarter time here at Optus Oval. North have kicked 3 for the term. They came from Wayne Schwass, Wayne Carey and John Longmire. 3 of their prime movers and 3 of their keys. Wayne has having a bit to say, whilst for the West Coast Eagles, Craig Turley and Ryan Turnbull have booted goals for the West Coast Eagles. Down comes the Brains Trust of North Melbourne, Dennis Pagan and Rocket Rodney Eade. And a lot of speculation just as to where Rocket will be next year. And here comes Mickey Malthouse to address the West Coast Eagles players. It's quarter time here at Optus Oval. North of 3-3-21, leading West Coast 2-1-13.
4 quarters of laughs with a serious touch in Time On. Friday nights on 7 Sports.
Good tight contest here at Optus Oval, North Melbourne. 3-3, 21, lead West Coast 2-1. 13 in other matches being played today in round 18. Well, Essendon have doubled Melbourne's score, largely due to Paul Salmon, who's booted 3, and Michael Long has 2. They are 6-4-40. Melbourne are 3-2-20. And in the other match being played today between St Kilda and Adelaide, Stuart Lowe is leading the way for the Saints. He's booted 3, but the Saints have their problems with Robert Harvey off with an arm injury. 5-4 plays a 3-2. So that brings us up to date with those matches being played. Mickey Malthouse leaves the arena at quarter time, and Dippy are bouncing up and down there like a yo-yo. Is it the cold or are you just pumped?
I am pumped at the moment. There's certainly a lot of fire in the belly by North Melbourne. Then what a terrific quarter with the half-back line. Young Freeborn doing very well, and Ross Smith, as Russell Morris has mentioned many times, doing exceptionally well. And North Melbourne in front of goals look completely different. Even though they're lighter on their feet, it looks like they're not stable as they have been in the past. So North Melbourne looking good.
And we look forward to the full routine. Dipper at half-time. 3-3 plays 2-1. We go into the second quarter here at Optus. Turnbull wins it. Stevens takes it away for North Melbourne. Goes down towards half-forward. Oh, Allison came charging out. Couldn't take the football. Waterman now and Blakey give chase. The former soccers towards the boundary line. He might try it again. Blakey's desperation is evident. He pushes it wide towards the 50-metre line. It's very close to the boundary line. It's kept in play with a high floating kick. Oh, what a mark by Allison.
A sensational mark. The kick was perfect to the top of the square, and it was Simmons and Allison, a one-out duel, and Allison just being able to manoeuvre himself to be able to pull it in with the left hand. Great piece of work.
Well, he's kicked 19 for the season. 19 goals, 11. And I would venture to say this is one of the easier shots he's had for the year. He's 10 metres out. He's directly in front, and he's put it through for a goal. So Allison gets his first, and Terry really just the start that North Melbourne wanted in the second quarter, and just exactly what the West Coast did not want.
North Melbourne went into the quarter time huddle very, very pumped. They'd done a very good job in the first quarter and would have been most intent on starting well in this second quarter. And here it is here as they battle here for the ball. The ball is gathered by Armstrong in the right footer against his natural flow to the perfect position, the top of the goal square, and Allison a lock there with Simmons, left hand, well done.
27 plays 13. Ashenko and Turnbull again. Oh, bodies in hard. Carey hits his own man in Stevens. He rubs his head. Now it's a chance for Pike to Lewis. Back to Pike again. Pike decides to touch the ball on the ground. It's very heavy out there on the Optus Oval wing. Goes inboard inside 50. Looking for the West Coast forwards, but there's about 45 North Melbourne defenders that are able to clear it. Now it's a chance for West Coast again. They're putting good pressure on these forwards, only for Freeborn to slide it out of bounds. Had a good quarter, Freeborn. 3 kicks, 2 handballs in that first quarter. Over the top is North Melbourne defence. A good punch out wide. Only now for Wilson have plenty of time. Kicks it around his body inside 50. Looking for ball, unable to get in front of McKernan. Socket off the ground by again to the defence. Only straight to Blakey. Blakey elects to kick to play on quickly to Fairley. Fairley hasn't got many options, only to go wide. Looking for the boundary line. Will it beat McKenna? McKenna, good clever play. Unable to keep it in, but I don't think he really wanted to. Out of bounds.
And this side of the ground is the offensive attacking side in terms of conditions, and Mick Malthouse has allowed Peter Matera to stay on this grandstand side of the oval for the entire first half.
Turnbull contests once again. Waterman at the back. May need Turley's assistance. He does, and also Lyle. Braden Lyle pops one over the top. Peter Wilson is 50 metres out. A flat-looking mongrel punt finds Lewis. Well, he was their form goal kicker last week with 6. North, in the meantime, preparing to bring Anthony Rock onto the ground. Armstrong is off. But Lewis is kicking for goal. 25 metres out, and he kicks it. So Lewis has his first. And the West Coast hit back 3-1, plays 4-3.
And we would expect that this would be the case. We have 5th on the ladder playing 6th on the ladder, and it's going to be an affair that will go right to the end of the day without any doubt at all. And here we have Lewis bustling himself into the front position from the first times that Smith's been caught behind. Well done, Chris Lewis.
(27 plays 19). The ball has been bounced after that goal by Chris Lewis, and a pack forms and another ball up. Identical position. 17-minute mark of the second quarter. Very tough game so far. Slight drizzle starting to fall here at Optus Oval. Ashenko gets a backhander to find Freeborn on the left boot. Good play by Brennan. Only to find Scott. Scott is driven into the ground by Lyle. High ball by Blakey now. Chance now for North Melbourne. Great spiral punt. And off to the right for one behind.
The aggression of young Lyle there with that tackle, and he has started the game on Armstrong, and Armstrong has been taken from the ground, so another scalp for young Brendan Lyle.
Mitchell White to bring it back into play. Coming grandstand side, Jakovic the target, McKenna there also. The latter takes it and he gives it away to Lyle, who scoots up towards Gehrig on centre wing. Can't take it cleanly. Fairly kicks the ball in play. Hooks it round his body. It's a high kick. Ashenko backs into the pack. Pushes down in front towards Schwatt. Schwatt says, get out of my way. I'm on my way. And he is up towards the 50. Out comes Longmire. White is with him. And Longmire has given away the free kick. He's pushed Mitchell White into that ball, said the umpire. And the Eagles defender will take it.
He looked a bit slow then, Sandy. He lost a bit of pace on the horse, and White got in front and forced him to push him out of the way.
Well, he's on half back. Only 9 points in this game. It won't be a high-scoring affair. Just a good old-fashioned struggle. Ashenko went up with one hand. Fairley's kick was smothered. Rocks in the thick of things, so too is Anderson. And now Stevens, a wobbly old punt kick. Where's Horse this time? Where's Horse? Gone, maybe. No, allowed to play on, so Archer does. And he's kicked the ripper! Oh, what a goal by Glenn Archer.
Whether Dennis Pagan wants Glenn Archer to play in defence or attack, that man certainly gives his best for his coach every week. And here we see John Longmire. The flaw in his game, John, is that he hasn't got that quick reflexive turn. And once he'd taken possession of the ball, he was in trouble. But the spill favoured Archer. Well finished off by Glenn Archer.
North Melbourne are 15 points up now. Ashenko gets it straight to Stevens. Stevens slung to the ground but manages to get his foot to the ball. Inside 50. Jakovic now.
Down the ground. Archer
It's been given the advantage straight on Bond's chest. Archer gave someone one behind, did he, Sandy?
I didn't say that, but he was there.
Bond kicks up towards 50. Pack forms. Wilson can't mark. Matera now in front, round the body. Looking for Worsfold it is. Worsfold body on body. Laidley now clears for North Melbourne. One-handed attempt by West Coast. Taken. Ashenko now driving McKenna into the ground. And a free kick to McKenna for in the back.
He plays on straight away towards Jakovic, who fumbled slightly, then recovered to soccer it down towards half forward. Stevens runs into Freeborn, his own man. Or was it the other way round? It doesn't matter. It's been locked up there. Gee, Wayne Schwass is hard at that ball. And in fact, a little too hard, said the umpire. Peter Wilson is going to take a free kick. And Wayne is furious. Worsfold leads. Wilson waits. Breeze, if anything, has strengthened a little here at Optus at the moment.
There's just absolutely nothing on there for Wilson at all. The North Melbourne defence has bottled it up very, very well.
And he's too far out to goal. He's going to be kicking from 60. He wants Lewis. Bond does the roving. Bond soccers off the ground, does pretty well down towards the half-forward line. That kick's going to be close to out of bounds on the full, and it is. So he's going to get another shot. And he's only marginally closer. The lead of ball is ignored. It's all North Melbourne. Corey McKernan marks almost unattended. Decides to head to the outer side. That could be dangerous because Bond is there, putting plenty of attention on Stuart Anderson. Schwass goes into assist and eventually over the line. Schwass picks himself up.
Corey McKernan back onto Jason Bull has tactically been the best move of the match to date by Dennis Pagan. It's really put the pressure on the West Coast Eagles forward line.
Banfield, it's a high kick round his body. McKernan unable to take it. Ball, a snap. Doesn't get anywhere. Tried to get the kick to Matera. Look, it's tough in there. The umpire lets play go on. It'll stop now. Don Pike, I think it is, at the bottom of the pack, picks himself up after being sandwiched by a couple. And a bounce to take place inside 50. Push towards half-back. Ducking his head was Waterman. He could be gone. No, play on, said the umpire. And so they do. Blakey, Waterman, both there. Just inside the 50. King picks himself up.
Some question marks put on North Melbourne over the last 3 weeks as to whether they were as hard and aggressive at the ball and the man with tackling as they had been early in the year. I think it's been answered here in this first half.
Well, they've lost their last three. Lewis, kick is high. Ball comes charging out and flattens the pack. Matera tries to get through, but his kick's going to drop short, and they defend North Melbourne only to the outer side. Brennan is there, but so too is Archer. And Archer had a very good first quarter. He was hard at the football. He was hard at Brennan. And it'll be a throw-in.
The footy's gone flat too, Sandy. The footy's gone flat. They had to change the footy.
Well, that's how hard they've been at it.
12 minutes left in the second quarter. 55 out from West Coast goal. Throw in. Gehrig and Fairley. Gehrig wins only to find Stevens on the bottom of the pack and a free kick. First in, first served. Stevens now to drive up towards centre wing, looking for Carey's and behind, wrestling with Jakovic. Jakovic manages to punch that one away. Freeborn throws the body in. It's heavy work here. Off the ground by Carey, bit of an airy. Now it's Turley's turn, straight on the boot, up towards Bond, and takes a good mark. Bond elects to play on quickly, looking for Wilson. Wilson 40 metres out, around the body, and out of bounds on the full. North Melbourne fans think that is fantastic.
Very popular here, isn't he, Peter Wilson?
Lately to bring it in. Well, he's built like a piece of 12-gauge wire, but he's a tough nut. Kicks to half-back. Pike was doing the roving, couldn't take it. It was socket off the ground. Bond won't get there in time, and we'll see another throw. By no means a full house here at Optus Oval, but they're certainly getting their money's worth in this contest. North by 15 points. Gehrig does the ruck work. Schwass couldn't get it away cleanly. Pike down towards the pocket region. Laidley, oh, dangerous. And another throw in. So Johnny Worsfold off.
And it just didn't seem to be working with him at half forward, and some of their thrust forward of late have been very unorganised, and Dean Kemp now getting his first run for the day.
Well, Kemp, who had such a sensational start to the year, Fairley doing the ruck work, tried to get a swipe at it, was unsuccessful. Stevens is at the bottom of the pack. No one able to get clear, eventually socket off the ground towards Archer. Good hand pass to Stevens. Stevens pumps it high up towards centre wing. Allison went a little too early. So too did Simmons. Jakovic caught by Carey. Turnbull brings it in with the one hand. Sweeps it wide towards Simmons, who goes short to Matera. Matera could have almost been a leg. It's tough, it's hard, it's slippery, and it's over the line. Throw in on centre wing. Ushenko. Turnbull, one by the ladder, pushed down towards Wilson. He overruns it. Stevens tried to tap it on, but straight to Lewis. Short little kick maybe to Rock. Anthony Rock started on the bench, but he's got his chance now. Laidley to Schwass. North Melbourne look damaging now as Fairley kicks them into attack. Down towards the right half forward region, towards Longmire. He couldn't take it. Rossi Smith is waiting down. Gives it away to Blakey. Johnny Blakey tucks it under his arm and away he goes. Inside 50 towards Allison. Simmons is right on his hammer. Gives it away towards Scott. Scott lost it between his legs. And eventually over the line. By gee, she's tough out there. North making another change. Anthony Rock. First run on the ground is only brief, and Armstrong in his 150th is back. Braden Lyle tucks up Stevens, and we'll find ourselves with a bounce. And just under 10 minutes remaining in this first half here at Optus Oval.
North Melbourne 5-4-34 to West Coast 3-1-19. 15 points the difference. On the 50-metre line for North Melbourne, and another ball up. Darren Goldspink says, it's cold out there, give it to me. Waterman, bottom of the pack as per usual. Good punch clear by North Melbourne now. Longmire behind, can't grab it.
Now it's Rock on his left foot, and he's put it straight through the middle. North Melbourne 6th. Scott it was for North Melbourne 6th.
Well, they've certainly done the work in defence and through the midfield, and ever so slightly now edging away here to build up quite a good lead as Robert Scott jumps in there for his 11th goal for the season, an important one, definitely.
Very handy goal to Robert Scott and North Melbourne as Ishenko taps out of the middle. This is the biggest break they've had in this game so far, and King rips them out of the centre again. He spirals a long one down towards Allison. Couldn't take the mark. Simmons there with him, and eventually Mitchell White runs it over the line. Conceding a behind. 6-5 plays 3-1. And given these conditions, that margin probably even greater. Jankovic marks in the back pocket. Goes towards centre wing. Ishenko has the height. Kemp waiting down in front after starting on the bench. Gets a touch towards Turnbull. Turnbull this time flicks it in towards half forward. Coming out charging at the football but unable to take it cleanly was Stuart Anderson. It will be a free kick. And it's going to go the way of North Melbourne to be taken by Simpson. Away he goes to Laidley. Just gets his kick in time. Up towards Carey. Playing in front, unable to complete the mark. Schwass does well to sweep it wide to Smith. That was good play. Smith penetrating kick towards Allison. Yes! They're all here today. They're all here. And Allison will be hoping to kick North Melbourne's 7th goal. Who said Hollywood was in America? Allison. Kicked one already. He's kicked 20 for the season. 40 metres out and he's kicked another one. And this is proving to be a very good quarter for North Melbourne, Terry.
We've now kicked the last 3 goals of the game, and Mick Malthouse certainly has his problems in defence. West Coast Eagles side statistically have the 2nd best defence in the competition behind only Carlton, but today they're being caught out. Allison, one-on-one duels, now has beaten Simmons twice for 2 goals.
North Melbourne by 28 points. Turnbull against Roberts. Turnbull now gets tampered with, and Brian Sheehan agrees. Free kick to Turnbull. Roberts is not happy. But that's history. Turnbull now. West Coast need a goal. Just over 7.5 minutes left in this second term. Straight to Peter Wilson on 50. Good mark by Wilson in front in these conditions. Wilson elects to play on very quickly, only to find Wayne Schwass on his own in the goal square. Schwass spins around, Plays on looking for Stevens. Stevens, a clever one-hander. Plays on again. Kemp unable to stop that kick. Up towards centre wing. Archer in front. And out of bounds.
Gee, they have great skills with a slippery ball, Terry.
Tremendous play. The thing about North Melbourne at the moment is they're getting numbers back up into defence. Even on this small ground, at this stage, there's only one North Melbourne player and one West Coast Eagles player inside their 50. Allison and McKenna, the only two there.
Turnbull and Roberts lock arms. Lewis comes over the top. Waterman gets a hurried kick. Schwass is there. Should be free kicked, and he will be. In fact, the advantage will be paid to Fairley, and he goes towards Blakey in the middle, but he's beaten. Good mark by Waterman. Under plenty of pressure, he did well. He can go to Turley on the outer side, or he can go more directly down the ground. He decides upon the latter. Fisted clear. Oh, Kemp does the roving. Dean Kemp's always dangerous in front of goal, but this time he can't bend it back enough, and it's out of bounds in the left forward pocket. Brought back in towards Laidley. Wasting no time. North go back up towards centre wing with that kick from Laidley. Wilson waiting down in front, had it for a moment, then lost it. Carey's hand pass goes astray towards Lewis. Lewis, he lost it too. Eventually it's Armstrong up towards the centre of the ground. Anderson was there, couldn't take it. Brennan picks it up and chips towards half forward. Fraser Garrick comes out to take the mark. Wants to go on with it. He's got a player loose. Schwass over the top. Oh! Couldn't take the mark. Kemp. Oh, this is exciting stuff as Pike gives it to Lewis. Chris Lewis from a standing start. It's a high kick towards full forward. A juggling mark attempted by Turnbull. Matera's there also. They head for the boundary line, North Melbourne. And a little bit of safety from Dean Laidley.
Wayne Schwass has given North Melbourne plenty here this afternoon. That attempted mark was a tremendous one, but whether it's in the air or at ground level, Schwass has done everything.
Rock comes back out onto the ground for North Melbourne. He may just about get an early touch too. No, the kick goes over his head towards Jakovic and Carey. Jakovic runs into trouble. Rock does soccer off the ground. Runs into Simmons. Archer maybe a chance. Close to the boundary line. He tries to thump it back. Second attempt is good. Rock gets it on towards Roberts. Sensational play by Roberts. Jakovic is right on his hammer. He's caught. It spills free once again. Back to Carey comes the hand pass. Carey kicks into the man on the mark. Sensational smother by Jakovic. And it's Jakovic who tidies up again. What a player. Towards the centre wing. Brennan in strongly. A little too strongly, said the umpire.
Glenn Jakovic, oh, tremendous, just charged it down front on, hands up over the face, squashed it. Very good work.
Well, Adam Simpson took his time, then he had Carey alone, but he drifted in towards Roberts. He was unable to take the mark. Armstrong, caught one, he's down on the ground. Pressure on the Eagles' defence, McKenna gets caught, it's held to him. Will be a bounce.
Some great action there. Last 30 seconds, that Jakovic smother was a big highlight. 47 plays 19. We're about 40 metres out from North Melbourne's goal, and there is a free kick. Free kick to North Melbourne from Mark Roberts for an indiscretion in that ball up against Jason Ball.
Well, he's only kicked 10 for the season. We'll have a look again.
Well, he did the right thing, Mark Roberts. He claimed the front position, sticks his posterior out a little bit and forces Ball to reach over the top.
Where was the free kick, Terry?
Well, perhaps that left hand was resting on the shoulder.
Fair enough. Roberts lining up for his 11th goal for the season, and North Melbourne's 8th. And off to the left. One behind.
So the Eagles fans breathe a sigh of relief. 7-6 plays 3-1. Didn't appear to be a lot in it, but that's history. Dean Kemp. McKenna finds him. So the man with the John Daly haircut goes from the back pocket. Kicks towards centre wing. Ball. Schwass flicks it out towards Laidley. Dean Laidley has a look up towards half forward. There's a couple of them charging at it. Longmire took it. Blakey left it for him. It maybe should have been the other way around. Simpson gets it away towards Roberts. Roberts a hurried, high, long, tumble punt down towards full forward. Mitchell White, an excellent mark from the last line of defence. Got to come back. Allison saying, why didn't we play on? I touched the football. But Brent all to no avail.
Hasn't he settled into so well at fullback after an injury-riddled 1994 season with only 6 games? Slotted in perfectly to that position and gives the backline structure a lot of strength.
Yes, he finds Kemp in the back pocket. And he goes close to out on the full. So Roberts brings it back in. They've done the bulk of the attacking to full forward. Who's going to do the roving? Allison. Still going. Kemp sockers it out of his hands. They're not out of it yet. Robert Scott caught, gets the hand pass away. A chance for Rock. Had it, lost it. Armstrong also under pressure. Archer is there as well. Matera comes in over the top. And inside 50, a bounce will take place for North Melbourne. Glenn Archer. Ball and Roberts. Jason Ball gets a hand to it. Turley, little toe poke. Laidley, tunnel ball out the back door. A couple of North Melbourne players fighting for that. Simpson and Stevens comes over the top of him. And another bounce.
Darren Goldsmith decides to throw it up as Jason Ball is taken off the ground for Paul Pios. Ball unable to get much of the football in these conditions. Meantime, a free kick to Turnbull. Turnbull kicks out wide, looking for Turley, finds him on centre wing. Turley's been very active so far in this game, this first half. Not a real good handball, but Waterman fixes it up for him. Waterman goes in short to Lyle. Good mark by Lyle. Ignores Kemp and decides to kick long, looking for Garrick and finds him. Good mark. Garrick decides to plant on his left foot, shoots and goals for the West Coast.
They needed to come back there, the West Coast Eagles, and Fraser Garrick is the player to do it. The left footer at centre half forward, slotted in. Michael Malthouse now trying to unbalance the West Coast Eagles, the North Melbourne defence, with Pios coming on, the smaller against the tall Corey McKernan.
The Eagles get their second goal for the quarter through the agency of Fraser Garrick. Oh, 2 North Melbourne players collide and they're both down, holding their heads. Let's hope they're going to be okay as it's soccered towards the line. King is not 100%, as you can see there. And we'll have a look at the clash once again. Armstrong and King both with heads down going for the football. Let's hope they're okay. On centre wing. Turnbull wins it. Wilson got a call from Bond, but also there was a Freeborn. Matera close to the line and over. Going to get a free kick anyway. Peter Matera. Been reasonably quiet. To right half forward, and a big pack of players. Freeborn waits down. He gets the hand pass away. It's to Fairley, and Fairley looks up towards the middle. No mark taken. At the back of the pack was Mitchell White. Had it for a moment, but that was all. Caught was Waterman. Smack in the centre here at Optus Oval. And another bounce. The time ticking away in this first half. And it's been a quarter that so far has belonged to North Melbourne. Ball comes back onto the ground. He'll be pleased with that because there's 1 second remaining. Head back, Jason. It's the long break, but there it is. An excellent quarter by North Melbourne. They kicked 4 goals. In fact, they kicked 4 goals, 3, and were able to restrict the West Coast Eagles to just 2 goals straight. But of course, North going to the end that favours a slight breeze. They had a lot of the football. Brett Allison kicked 2 goals for the quarter. Wayne Carey kicked 1 in the first term. But it's still anybody's game here at Optus Oval. At half-time, North Melbourne lead 7-6-48. The West Coast a 4-1-25.
9 days of World Championship athletics start tonight in Gothenburg. For exclusive coverage, stay tuned to 7.
It's half-time here at Optus Oval. A 4-goal quarter for North Melbourne. They lead 7-6-48. Brett Allison booting a couple in that second term. West Coast 4 goals, 1-25. But what we have here at Optus, Terry, is a darn good contest.
Well, we definitely do, Sandy. I think tactically the points go to Dennis Pagan in the first half. He's been able to isolate the West Coast Eagles defence on one-on-one.
Were you surprised to see Carey start in the middle?
No, not at all. I thought it was very important that he allowed him somewhere where he could run and get involved in the play without the pressure of Glenn Jakovic. And what it allowed for some space in the forward line, and Schwass was the first one to take advantage of that with a great mark and a great goal, and got North Melbourne away to the start they wanted with the first 2 goals on the ball. Then pressure then started to come back onto the West Coast Eagles, and they needed to be able to answer this because North Melbourne have been well pumped up during the week and were going to go on with it if given the chance. But here we find Turley getting towards the foot of the pack and with the Crumbs being able to get the goal on the board that they needed.
Didn't Ross Smith have a good time in defence, particularly in that first quarter?
He did, and this piece of play here by young Freeborn really was exemplified the defence of North Melbourne. And the good part here is this ends up with a goal to Dennis Pagan, in that Carey's doing the roving rather than being there as a player to kick to, and that's what he wanted to structure up. Keep pushing Carey up the ground so he could turn and run back onto the contest. Looking at this slot here, it's fairly even, 66 to... Well, no, it's not even there as you look at the handballs there where North Melbourne have been able to kick away in that regard, and they have shared the ball around. But the interesting one there, the centre breaks, and they're most important. West Coast Eagles got 3-2 in the first quarter. Hit-outs and the centre breaks, but went North Melbourne's way.
All right, let's have a look now at some of the action from the second quarter. An excellent one for North where they outscored them 4 goals to 2.
They did. West Coast Eagles matched the first goal of the second quarter that North Melbourne got with this one from Chris Lewis. He is a very important player and needs to just now find a little bit of freedom in order to get it away. But here, Glenn Archer, this is good work from Archer, and he gets to the contest with Longmire and gives him the assistance he needs. And Archer is a very valuable player to this North Melbourne lineup, whether in attack or in defence. And Robert Scott has been given the job on Peter Matera on this member side for the entire day, I would suggest. And that's the sort of thing that really rubs salt into the wound when you're able to get the goal in that contest. And Allison again, he's been the focal point up there. With Carey playing up the ground, there's been all this amount of space around Allison and Simmons. Simmons now has moved off with McKenna having the job, but Allison, 2 goals, very good.
And a lot of the good hard shoveling work done at the bottom of the pack there by Wayne Schwass assisting in that goal. But take us through some of the stats, Terry. Laidley has been busy. Stevens in particular has been very busy.
They have. The emphasis on North Melbourne has been to put all their players back up in towards the back half, really crowd up the North Melbourne forward line, and then expose the North Melbourne defence out in one-on-one contests. So they've done very well there. Whereas in contrast, North Melbourne haven't been able to generate as much ball as they would like. Jakovic and Lewis, the leaders in that particular regard, but a lot of pressure on the West Coast Eagles defence and midfield, and they need now to spin it round just a little bit more in order to set up those forward thrusts.
Yeah, it's all set up though, isn't it, for a classic second half here at Optus Oval. So stay with us, we'll take a break and be back with more of the Big Clash shortly.
Wake up to the big names and the big stories every Sunday morning on Sports World.
If you may have just joined us, it's half-time here at Optus Oval. North Melbourne a 7-6-48, a good 4-goal term for them, leading the West Coast 4-1-25. Just one of a number of matches being played today around the country as round 18 continues to unfold. A big one certainly at the MCG between the Bombers and the Demons. For a report on that, here's Peter Landy.
Thanks, Andy. Well, at the moment at half-time, Essendon just far too good. They lead Melbourne by 33 points, and on a day when you would think the smaller players would come into their own, it's been the big guns of Essendon who have fired. Salmon, Somerville and Alessio, who have all been brilliant, and so too has the Bombers midfield to set up their 5-goal break at the half. Let's see some highlights of the first 2 quarters. Out of the ground certainly, but the ground staff have done a magnificent job. The Super Soppers, Somerville doing well in the ruck so far. Long's first effective possession. Outside 50, long kick by Michael Long, and he's put it through. Great footy. Going to be a free kick to Morgan though. On to Hardwick. Salmon. Hurd. Long, free second, 20 metres out, and takes it. 2 goals to Long in 5 minutes.
It's a line direction, and I think this will find him too. Oh, Gary Lyon. He just wanted to do a special goal here. No, he didn't. He wanted to go back inside to Sean Smith. So great team play in the end from Gary Lyon. I really felt Rossi he'd go for the banana around the corner.
He made it hard for himself, didn't he? But it seemed worse than that.
Sean Smith kicks truly his first and his 37th for the year. And the ball is like a race. What is it? Soap. Piece of soap. Gets it out to Lovett. Off the hill, bounces it. Would you believe in this slippery stuff? Kicks towards line. What a great mark.
He just ran down Blighty from the full forward area to get warm on the...
So Gary Lyon for his second. He usually is a pretty good kick. It's no exception. That's Melbourne's 4th goal. Not a good kick, low trajectory. Goes through Young's hand. Falls to Alessio. Alessio from 55 metres out. What a wonderful kick. Great goal.
So 10-8 to 5-5 at the half. Long 3, Salmon 3 and Gary Lyon 2 for Melbourne. And Ross, the score is really a pretty fair indication of the play so far, aren't they?
Yes, your summation before, Pete's pretty right. The big fellas for Essendon have been very good. Their ball skills, particularly, even when it got wet in that second quarter, they really did stand up to Alessio, Somerville and Salmon. And they're complemented very well by their midfield, and their half-back line has been very good rebounding. Melbourne have struggled to go forward, even though White and Smith have kicked a couple of goals each. They've found their opportunities very difficult to come by.
And you see Melbourne getting back into it quickly?
Not really. There's just too many players around the ground for Essendon dominating.
OK, so there it is at half-time, Sandy. 33 points the difference here in favour of the Bombs.
Thank you, boys. So the Demons having their work cut out at the MCG, just as the West Coast Eagles do here at Optus Oval. And of course, the other match is being played at Waverley, that being between St Kilda and Adelaide. Let's now check on some of the highlights from Waverley.
It's hurriedly taken by Pekin, away to Keogh. He bounces the ball to Anderson. Saints sharing the ball pretty well. Bardsley, centre of the ground, with the breeze to full forward. Lowe comes from behind, can't take the mark. Rovers required, a chance off the ground. Smith, what a goal!
You know, Sirakoski's 6'4".
Oh, he's nowhere near as big as Pittman, I wouldn't think. Here's Anderson. Oh, terrific smother by Jamison. What's he doing down there? Out it comes to McCartney from Tregenza, and Jason McCartney kicks a goal. And here's Jarman had a very quiet first term. Winmar picks it up on the left, brings it in front of goal. Lowe used his body to perfection. Here's a kick at goal by Brown, and Brown has put it through.
Oh, there's a free
kick. No free kick paid for that. Sirakoski just poleaxed Pittman. Socket off the ground there by Trekenza. Back to Sirakoski. High ball to Lowe. At the back, O'Brien. Open goal, and O'Brien kicks it.
Here's Wakeland. Oh, it's taken away by Ziller. He's a little terrier as he brings it down towards it. Oh, McCartney's dropped the sitter. Lowe is there. Here's Brown. Oh, it's another one to the Saints. Oh, they're playing well.
Yes, half-time in the clash at Waverley between the Saints and Adelaide. St Kilda are 8-5-53. Lowe has 3. Smith and Brown have 2 apiece. Adelaide coming back, though, with a 3-goal turn. They booted 3-3 and have moved to 6-5-41. Hart has 2 for the Adelaide Crows. Here at Optus Oval, we've got a big clash on, and at the moment the West Coast Eagles certainly have the job ahead of them against North Melbourne. Stay with us for all the action in the second half, coming up shortly.
It's all down to Oran Park. Who'll win the Touring Car Championship? Be watching 7 on Sunday.
Welcome back to Optus Oval. North Melbourne are going through some warm-up exercises. I'm surprised that the Big Dipper... Oh, well, he's just started. And how are you feeling, me boy?
I'm feeling very good, Sandy. Well, North Melbourne certainly played terrific football that half, and last week Dennis Pagan did question the boys about their passion, their hunger for the game, and obviously they must have had big meetings throughout the week, and the boys are certainly playing good football. At this stage, I really can't see the Eagles getting back into the game because they haven't got any goal kickers with Jason Ball kickless in that half. So I think I might change my prediction and might go for North Melbourne, I think.
You're unbelievable. Just keep jogging. Good on you, Dipper. Thank you for that. Well, the question is, Terry Wheeler, can West Coast come back? I mean, I know they can, but do you think they will?
Oh, I think you can. I mean, they're a very good side. Johnny Worsfold there starting the quarter on the bench, as is Johnny Longmire. But, I mean, we're looking at a side, West Coast Eagles, there's 15 players in this side who played in the premiership side last year. I mean, they're not a slouching unit whatsoever. And I fully expect the West Coast Eagles to come out, match the physical aggression that North Melbourne have put in place in this first half. And I'm particularly not sure how they'll kick the goals, but I'm sure they'll scrounge enough to win the game.
Well, they're kicking with the aid of this slight breeze in this quarter. This is going to be the one they've got to come back in. 48 plays 25. 23 points the margin. Big Alex Ashenko to do battle with Ryan Turnbull as we start the second half here at Optus. It's won by Ashenko. Matera tries to fist it down. Is unsuccessful. It's still in the middle. Craig Turley and Wayne Schwartz says, I've got a bit of a sore head. Have the footy back.
And Dennis Pagan has allowed Wayne Carey back to start at centre half forward for this second half.
Bounce still virtually in the middle. Good work by Schwartz. He just works hard. Matera, a skillful pickup and hurriedly getting boot. The ball goes towards centre wing. Fairley will see it over and a throw-in will take place. Matera relatively quiet in the first half. Ashenko spent time on the bench. He does battle with Turnbull. Lewis almost kicks in danger. The Schwartz kick is smothered. Wilson, a clever belt on. He's gained 25 metres towards Fraser Gehrig. Gehrig pushes wide, but only as far as Simpson. Simpson finds Fairley, and Fairley finds the boundary line.
A very good first game from Adam Simpson. Playing all last year in the reserves and then the Northern Knights prior to that.
Yes. Stevens. Well, they pounce on him like seagulls on a leftover sandwich. And another bounce will take place.
How do I follow that one, Sandy?
Call it as you see it.
Centre wing. Umpire Goldspink decides to throw it up. The ground is very soft. Laley throws it on his left foot up to centre wing. Carey's in front. Bustled out by Jakovic. Jakovic has had the better of Carey so far today. A high ball up towards the 50. Jason Ball unable to mark it. Play on to Matera. Matera up the side of the boot. Now is a chance for Gehrig. Gehrig's in front, followed by Fairley. Pressure's on. Gehrig, great tackle by Fairley. Thrown to the ground. Ross Smith now a chance to move up off to Laidley. North Melbourne clear it away. Armstrong off the ground. Handball over the top. Blakey now dodges a couple on his left boot up towards centre wing. High ball. Rock can't mark. Now the West Coast defenders a bit. Simmons off to Lewis now around the body inside 50 towards Schwartz, close to the boundary line. And Schwartz very lucky not to be pinged for out on the full.
Yes. He's had a pretty good game though, Wayne Schwartz. Very, very hard worker. Stevens at the bottom of the pack. Lyle has him and Wayne Schwartz is down there too. If the Eagles can get the first goal here, they'll get a sniff and be right back in business. They've got it inside 50. Jason Ball kicks into towards Bond. It ricochets away from Bond. Here comes the hand pass to Gehrig. He should goal. So Fraser Gehrig gets a much needed 6-pointer for the West Coast. And they hang in at Optus. 7-6 plays 5-1.
Well, Fraser Gehrig could be that goal kicker we're looking for. He's the first West Coast Eagle to kick a double score here now with his second goal. And playing at centre half forward, he is a very mobile player who can perhaps give himself the opportunities. If the left footer makes the most of this one, most important goal it was for West Coast.
North Melbourne 48-31. Ashenko unable to get the tap. Scott, 150th game, smothered off his boot. Now to Armstrong. Does a bit better, kicks it inside 50, looking for Allison. Allison unable to pick up the ball. Roberts overruns it. Chance now for Pike, under pressure. Slips, picks himself up very quickly, and only to find Robert Scott. But Banfield keeps his feet, does the better of the two. Overruns the ball this time. But Carey has given away a free kick for holding the man, Banfield, to take that free kick. Djakovic holding his groin at the moment. Doesn't look too good, but I think he'll be okay. Lewis now plays on with a massive spiral torpedo inside 50 with the win. Wilson now, a chance. Flicks it off to Simmons. Simmons' ball kick is smothered. North Melbourne defence very, very good so far today. Wilson on his left, throws it in the Jason Ball direction. And the ball rolls over the line for one behind.
Terry, some of the smothering in this game today has been a feature.
It has. It's been a very close, tight game, and players have been quite prepared to throw their hands down close to the boot to affect the smother.
Smith to Fairley. Fairley towards half-back. Garrick up too early. And it's Stevens who stands his ground. He puts it out in front of Archer. Maybe a fraction too far. No, it's okay. Glenn Archer off to the running Schwartz. A difficult one for him to take. And he was besieged by West Coast Eagles players. It's taken over the line. Brennan was there. Lyle was there. Lewis was there. It was never going to be easy. Through the legs of it, Schwartz. Archer pounced upon it. Scott gets a left foot kick up towards 50. Djakovic and Carey, the two champs, having another wonderful duel. Djakovic having the better of him at the moment. But still a great contest. North by 16 points. Schwartz the run. Ashenko to do the shepherding if he can get there in time. He can't. Matera comes over the top and it's over the line. Again, many thought on the fall, but gee, it must have just skimmed the line.
Ryan Turnbull has perfected the art now of going for the line.
Actually, that's what, 3 times today. Bond tries to get the hand pass out to Lewis, who tends to soccer it on towards Fraser Garrick. Picks it up on 50, needs someone going past. The only one there was Simpson. He couldn't take it cleanly. Freeborn there also. Laidley soccers off the ground to Stevens. Stevens comes inside towards Blakey. Pressured by Garrick. He gets a kick towards centre wing. Archer used the body. Djakovic, like a snooker player, somehow gets it towards his teammate there in Lyle. A cry of ball goes unheeded. It's over the line and another throw-in.
Keep looking for these goals for the West Coast Eagles, where they're going to come from. Or maybe that man on screen, Glenn Djakovic, could well be worth a throw to the forward line while the West Coast Eagles have this breeze.
Turnbull throws it on his boot and kicks it up towards the West Coast forward line. Ross Smith in front, keeps his body in front of the ball. Eyes only for the ball. What a champion he is. Now it's a chance for Garrick on his left. Dodges a couple. Handballs now over to Lewis. Lewis an opportunity. Oh, great smother by Simpson. North Melbourne are very committed. Ball goes over the boundary line. Great work by the North Melbourne defence. Great pressure.
Fantastic from a youngster, isn't it, to see work like that?
It is.
Throw in. Wilson gets the backhanded fist. Now a chance for Matera, running close to the boundary line, keeping in front of Scott. Flicks off the back of his foot and out of bounds on the full. North Melbourne crowd want 50 against Matera. They don't like him. Kick up towards centre wing. Ashenko and Kemp in front. A cardinal error by Alex. If you're behind, you've got to punch it. Kemp now drives in towards centre half forward. Looking for Pios and ball. No one can grab it. Ross Smith again. Been excellent up towards centre wing. Schwartz, good body work in front of Lyle. Wayne Schwartz kicks the ball. It's his 8th kick so far in front of Carey. Djakovic punches clear. He's gone top of Carey so far. Now Archer conceding ground to Schwartz. Dodges around Matera. Very clever. Gets his 9th kick for the game up towards Roberts. Overruns the ball. Good pressure by Kemp. Armstrong slides over the boundary line and so does the ball. A throw in. 13.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Ishenko and Turnbull. Fisted clear by Simpson, taken by Roberts. Under pressure, he gets a kick into the pocket, into the right forward pocket and inside, well inside 50, but over the line in front of Anthony Rock. Playing in his 150th game. 115th. Stevens. Socket off the ground, but wide, one behind. He'd like to be playing his 150th, wouldn't he?
They all are, Sandy.
7-7, plays 5-2. McKenna to bring it back. Waterman are back on. Time's up for McKenna. He's got a kick. And he's deadly accurate. Finds Mitchell White in turn to Lewis. Lewis tumbles a punt. And it's a B-grade bounce that goes down towards half forward. Ball to Bond could be dangerous. Bond gives it back towards Lyle. He couldn't take it cleanly. Neither could Wilson. Ball runs into trouble. Loses the football. It spills free. He's forced to defend. And I think he's given away a free kick. Great pressure by the North Melbourne defence. Armstrong to take it. He's playing his 150th. Wobbly old kick down towards Archer, who's been excellent. Glenn Archer around his body, finds his mark, and Anthony Rock is inside 50. Spent considerable time on the bench. He's only had a couple of kicks. But he's kicked 14 goals, 9 for the season. The only goal so far in the quarter has come from the Eagles. He's kicking from 43 metres. It's a drop punt that floats in towards the square. It comes out the back. Roberts gets going, but he's got plenty of defenders there ready to rip into him. A cry of ball by North. It goes unheeded again. Ishenko attempts to sock off the ground. He's unsuccessful. He is at the bottom of the pack. Turnbull roaring orders. They'll decide to throw it up here. Kemp at the bottom of the pack. Brennan couldn't take it. He threw it, said the umpire, and he's furious about that decision. But the free kick stands. Have a look at it again, Terry.
Well, here we are, hot in the contest, and there's the... Well, that bottom hand certainly did move, didn't it? Good call, umpire.
So Roberts to take it. He's kicked 10 goals for the season, but he hasn't kicked one as yet today. 10 goals, 6 in fact for the year. This for the first for North Melbourne for the quarter. Starts it way left. Into the pocket it goes. Archer, look at him pounce on that ball. He doesn't quite get there in time. This allows Pike in, and he sockers it straight over the line.
Really hit that one too hard, Don Pike. All he needed to do was to dribble it along a little bit more. Would not have got as much distance as he was trying to get with that, but all he needed to buy was 10 or 15 metres.
Well, it's a throw-in, so it was a good kick after all that. Stevens caught with the ball. Banfield driving him into the ground. North Melbourne supporters claiming it, but not to be. Umpire Greg Scroop decides to throw it up on centre wing. Turnbull and Shenko, no clear winner. Kemp on the bottom of the pack. Simpson on top of him, and also Armstrong. Umpire Scroop to ball it up again. Malthouse and Timmy Jep not too happy so far. West Coast need more goals. Simmons driven into the ground. Schwass is in there. Burrowing like a wild bull.
Pile driver stuff.
Hasn't his football improved, though? You think back to the late 80s when he first started, there was a bit of a question mark over Wayne Schwass, but now very aggressive in the contest.
Committed footballer. Blakey, backhanded fist. Now a chance for Armstrong on his right boot. Kicks inside 50. Carey. Wayne Carey had a quiet day so far. Only his second mark. He's had 3 kicks and 1 handle, and that's only his second mark, and we are inside 10 minutes left remaining in the third quarter. He's kicked 1 goal and 47 for the season. West Coast do not need this, North Melbourne do. Opportunity to put North Melbourne's 8th goal on the board. Carey directly in front, about 30 metres out from goal. And drives it to the right. 1 behind.
Well, a great mark from Carey, pushing back into the contest, but he really needed to back it up with the shot at goal being more successful than just the behind it registered.
Waterman and McKenna combine out of defence. A little too high for Turnbull. Bond waits at the back and he gives it to Lewis, who tumbles a punt down towards the forward line over the head of ball, down towards Matera, and over the line in the left forward pocket.
A little bit concerned with those attempted torpedoes from Chris Lewis. That's the third one today. The first one worked quite well, but the other two really haven't given his marking forwards a real chance to be able to mark the ball cleanly.
So a throw-in in the Eagles' attacking zone. A big chance for them to score. Armstrong can't pick it up. He does a 360. Lewis accepts the hand pass, kicks down towards full forward, but the juggler is there in Wayne Schwass. He gives it away to Smith. These defenders doing well without Mick Martin, but they certainly do miss him as well. There's a good mark to young Adam Simpson coming from Scott. And he again goes back to the 150 game mark. Played 132 with the Cats. Dean Kemp goes over the line in one of the wetter areas of the ground. And another throw. Ishenko and Turnbull. There's the crew-cutted Kemp. Turley gets it out. Now's a chance for Brennan. He has a look down towards the 50. Ball gave too much of a nudge. And has given away the free kick. So Corey McKernan takes it. He swings it wide to the wing and he's got Blakey. And away goes Blakey. Off to Rossi Smith. Smith has a look down towards the 50. Down to the attacking zone. Roberts, 40 metres out. Well, he starts it right, it stays right, and it's a behind. 7-9 plays 5-2. The North bench look on as Guy McKenna prepares to bring it back into play.
McKenna waiting for the right option. Finds it straight up the centre in the likes of Chris Lewis. He plays on to Bond. That's West Coast's best player. Move the ball quickly. Bond to Turnbull. Unable to pick it up now. Now it's a chance for now. North Melbourne defence again. Not a real good kick. Jakovic now to mob up in the centre of the ground. Dodges around a couple of defenders. Drives it forward inside 50 again. Turley pushing with Laley. Great work by Laley, shepherding him out. Wayne Schwass now on his right boot. Long handball now to Simpson. Simpson round the body. No, it's Freeborn it was. Banfield now a chance. Oh, good tackle by Blakey. Great following up. Stevens attempted soccer off the ground. Kemp, pressure again. Banfield. It stacks on the mill here. North Melbourne and West Coast on centre wing. Out of bounds.
Tell you what, this is going to be a last man standing affair, Terry.
It is standing, and I think the West Coast Eagles match committee really have to look at Glenn Jakovic. I think they should get him into the forward line. Jason Ball hasn't given them anything. He could go back to centre half back and take Carey.
Armstrong, but now it's socket off the ground by Lewis. Down towards Fraser Garrick. Fairley gives chase. Garrick gets rid of the football and then gets claimed. He goes again. The umpire says just play on. He does, into the pocket, and the mark is taken by Ball. He was benched for a while and didn't like it too much, naturally enough, but is back now with a chance of kicking the West Coast's 6th goal. And a must kick. It's only his 3rd for the day. Distance won't be a problem. He's going to be kicking from 35. He's on a 45-degree angle. He starts it right. That's a wonderful kick for goal by Jason Ball. So he gets his first, and the Eagles sneak a little closer.
They're gradually closing the gap in what has been 6 minutes to go in this quarter. Only 2 goals, and both the West Coast Eagles, first to Fraser Girick, the player on screen, and now to Jason Ball. They are now looking for the lift. This could well be it.
Jason Ball's first goal, West Coast 6th. Back to the centre, Eshenko. No one can win the tap out. Stevens again under the pack. Been there all day. And another ball up in the centre of the ground. Umpire Goldspink. Eshenko again being banished to the bench for John Longmire coming on. Stevens again off the ground, only to find Kemp on his left foot. Kicks up forward, Laidley punches clear for North Melbourne. Here's a chance now for King. King, quick handball to Laidley, rushed under his boot, close to the boundary line, and bouncing just inside the line for a throw-in. About 60 metres around from the West Coast goal. Dean Laidley had a very busy day, 12 kicks and 5 handballs. North Melbourne by 13 points. Simpson pushed when he was kicked, close to the boundary line. Now a chance for Carey and Jakovic. Again, the ball going out of bounds. Jakovic being dominant on Carey today. Very quiet day for Carey. 4 kicks and only 1 goal. 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Ball in on centre wing. Stacks on the middle, Lyle. And Blakey on the bottom of the pack, and another ball up.
Yes, there's the North Melbourne hierarchy. Nervous looking with the chewing Dennis Pagan. Rodney Eade looking very serious. Still plenty of football left in this game. A high kick. Garrick. Courage. No mark. It's difficult in there, and it'll be even tougher come the final quarter. King is at the bottom of the pack.
North Melbourne continue to have answers within the contests like this ball up, whereas at the centre bounces they've taken 12-3. They've been most dominant at ground level.
Ball held. Schwartz again doing the tackling. Players from both sides have been fantastic. Braden Lyle picks himself up. Thrown up on that outer side. Flicked wide and pushed towards the 50. Here comes Fairley. Had it for a moment. Kemp's got to give chase. Oh, ducking his head was Blakey, but he was able to get it away, and it opens the door for North Melbourne to go down towards the half-forward line. Carey in trouble. Gets the hand pass away towards Allison. He goes down towards the 50-metre line. The race is on. Simmons off the ground as Simpson gives chase. And a throw-in. Left half-forward flank. He's an exciting youngster, is this man. Paul Simmons. Turnbull tried to get a left fist at it. Simpson is in there, almost got a boot to it. Stevens. Bond almost gave away a free kick. But we'll find ourselves with a ball up. Very special time of the quarter, just 3.5 minutes remaining. Couple of kicks in it. Drew Banfield goes down towards half forward, chopped off once again, however, and kicked in towards the middle to find Wayne Schwartz. Shepherding sees Schwartz clear. Down towards Blakey on the 50. John Blakey inside 50. Sets sail for goal with a long kick, and at the back the champ. No mark. One behind. The crowd anticipated then, but just a fraction too early.
I hope Wayne Carey doesn't fall foul of dropping too far back into the forward line. First half was great for North Melbourne when he played up the ground, giving the players like Allison plenty of space across the full forward line.
McKenna decides to kick on the outer side and finds Bond on the West Coast half-back line. 50 metres out. It's North Melbourne by 14 points in a tight, tough encounter. Bond kicks long up towards centre wing. Looking for Wilson. Wilson unable to mark, goes too far under it. Now Freeborn able to drive it back into the North Melbourne department.
Djekovic can't mark, floating across the front of the pack. Brennan, McKenna, some tough work. Longmire now tries to break clear. Here's a chance for Archer now. Off the ground, and a great goal in North Melbourne. It's Archer's second, and North Melbourne's 8th. Bit of breathing space, 20 points the difference. 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
And you would nearly describe this as the goal that broke the back here. West Coast Eagles have the advantage of the breeze in this quarter. It's getting quite strong here at this oval. For North Melbourne to get this goal up into it, a very important one.
Oh, like a piece of gold, that one for North Melbourne. Second goal to Glenn Archer. Out of the middle. Wilson caught. Schwass is the tackler. And King also. Eagles making a change. Looks as though Hart is going to come on for Waterman. Socket off the ground in the centre by Banfield towards Schwass, who heads for the outer side, a bit of the open spaces. Simmons is there. Archer is there. Archer left his man, however, and it opens the door for Brennan, who pumps a long kick to full forward. Matera's down there, but it's socket off the ground by Smith. And the throw-in will take place.
Breeze seems to be getting stronger to the left of screen, the end that West Coast Eagles are kicking to at the moment, and with only minutes to go, they really need to pinch a goal here.
Certainly going to be a big last quarter. Can Bond do something? He wobbles it in towards the pocket. A little too far for Fraser Gehrig. And over the line. Right forward pocket for the West Coast Eagles. Gehrig has 2 goals. He, in fact, is their only multiple scorer. Allison and Archer have 2 apiece for North Melbourne. Schwass shaping up as one of the best on the ground. That was well trapped by Turnbull. He almost threw it to Banfield, but play goes on. Longmire gets the hand pass away. Blakey round his body. There is a strong, strong mark by Allison. He'll have a look down forward as they go charging down towards the 50. Out comes McKenna. He couldn't take the mark. Rock for goal, Anthony. Yes!
West Coast Eagles worked very, very hard to get the first 2 goals of the quarter. Well up into the 20-minute mark, and then now North Melbourne rebound with 2 quick goals up into the breeze. Archer and now Rock being the recipient of a spilt ball from Guy McKenna. North Melbourne taking a very good lead into the 3-quarter time break.
Rock's kicked his first. North Melbourne's 9th. 26 points the difference now. They've got within about 13 points, West Coast. Roberts takes the ball to the ground, and it's another ball up. Inside 1 minute left of the third quarter. Critical third quarter. Roberts and Turnbull. Spent a bit of time up forward, Roberts, and also in the ruck. Turnbull, the winner. Kemp now. Can they pinch another goal, as Terry mentioned before? Who's going to be the thief? Will it be Matera? No. The ball goes over the line for a ball into the right forward pocket.
The thief, the Ronnie Biggs. The thief.
This will be maybe the last passage of play for the West Coast chance to kick this goal. Good punch clear by King towards the boundary. Wilson a chance. Oh, Stevens holds his head. He knows he made a big mistake and kicks the ball out of bounds on the full.
Well, with just 19 seconds remaining, Peter Wilson is going to have a shot right on the boundary line. If he's going to go short, they're going to have to take a mark. Jason Ball. Well, the angle is marginally better. This will be the last kick of the quarter. No doubt about that. And they desperately need it to start the run home for the final turn. Jason Ball from 35 metres. 45-degree angle, maybe a little tighter. Setsaler with a drop punt. It's a good-looking kick, and it's a goal. That is a vital goal for the West Coast Eagles and Jason Ball. He was dragged earlier in the game. He's come back in the third, and he's kicked two very, very important goals. And I would imagine Mick would be breathing just a fraction easier. They've still got a long way to go, but it's 20 points the margin. 20 points the margin as the West Coast players seem to be having considerable debate with the umpires. It will not, however, change the scoreline here at Optus Oval, which reads North Melbourne 9-10, 64, 20-point leaders over West Coast 7-2, 44.
This week's Sunday football comes from the SCG, when the Swans serve it up to Brisbane, live on 7 Sports.
It's a real struggle here at Optus Oval, but it's all set up for a big final quarter, and I hope you'll stay with us. North Melbourne, a 9-10, 64, 20-point leaders over the West Coast, 7-2, 44.
7 Sports is proud to present this match as part of the 1995 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Let's check other matches being played in round 18. Essendon 12-13, 85, leading comfortably over Melbourne 6-6-42. Paul Salmon has 4. Long and Alessio 3 apiece for the Bombers. And in the other match being played today at Waverley, it's a tight one. St Kilda are 9-8-62. Adelaide are 8-10-58. So just 4 points the margin down there at Waverley. 20 points, Dipper, is the margin here at Optus. Can the Eagles come back? Do you think they will?
Well, they're very keen, and Mickey Malthouse believes they're still in the game, and he's really building up his players. Djakovic had a lot to say to his players as well, and Mickey made at the point, who's on Swats, make sure he's been picked up. And one thing we've noticed today, Wayne Carey not in the game, but North Melbourne certainly in front of each quarter. So maybe the myth, no Wayne Carey, no North Melbourne could be beaten today.
Thank you, Dipper. So here we go. The final term here at Optus. 20 points the margin. North by 20. Turnbull to do the ruck work. First goal, desperately vital. Bond smothered as he tried to get the kick. Blakey's been busy. Lewis couldn't get an effective kick away. Lyle tried to soccer off the ground. It spooned out the back to Rock. Anthony Rock kicks down towards a right half forward. Brennan drops back, and in the long sleeves, Michael Brennan defends with a short little kick towards Banfield. Back to Pike. He's close to the boundary line, and he's just about over. Well, it's going to be a free kick. A free kick to West Coast. Brennan takes the hand pass. Gets a high kick up towards the half-back line, but a fine grab taken by Glenn Freeborn. And he goes back to put North into half-forward territory once again. Mitchell White, an effective spoiler. It's shot out, but Simmons is there. He has the ball held. He's taken to the ground by Anthony Stevens. And a bounce by Brian Sheehan. Veteran umpire. Blakey stands his ground and blazes with the right foot. It's into the pocket. Mitchell White almost interfered with. That ball sits in the mud right on the boundary line. It's still in play, believe it or not. Now it's over. A muddied Glenn Djakovic picks himself up. 7 kicks, 7 hand passes. But he's done a good negating role on the champ Wayne Carey as Lewis concedes a behind.
The pressure the North Melbourne forwards are putting on the Eagles' defence has been exceptional right throughout the day. There is another example of it.
McKenna to White. Close to the boundary line. White up towards centre wing, looking for Garrick. Over the top of Fairley. Freeborn using his body, controlling the ball well and allowing it to go with a little bit of experience over the boundary line.
It's been a very good effort from Glenn Freeborn, playing only his 2nd game of league football. Last played back in round 5, but a premiership player over the South Australian Eagles in 1993.
North Melbourne by 21 points. Bond, Armstrong onto the boot, up towards their forward line. Carey in front of Djakovic, straight to Allison, but driven into the ground by a great tackle by Pike. Now for Archer. North Melbourne going backwards. West Coast putting a lot of pressure on now. Stevens this time. A torpedo up towards the goal square. Longmire. Play on's the call. White takes the ball, touches it on the ground once, and elects to kick up towards centre wing. Looking for Lyle. Lyle's got a bit of time now. Has to throw it on the boot quickly. High ball. Looking for ball. Ross Smith in front. Wilson now handballs the ball to himself onto the ground. Dodges a couple, caught. Good pressure by North Melbourne. Here's the man, Schwass again. Out of trouble code North Melbourne up towards their 50. Djakovic in front of Carey. No one can mark. Lewis grab Pike to break clear for Banfield.
And Banfield's got a bit of time. He has a look up over the centre, goes to half forward. Ball used the body at the back, was unable to complete the mark. Turnbull under great pressure, had it and lost it. So too was Lyle. Armstrong on the bottom, celebrating his 150th. And the umpire comes in for a bounce. First goal in this final term, vital. Schwass has been sensational, one of the best on the ground, if not the best. Lyle couldn't take it. It's a high kick in towards the middle. Oh, Allison almost the juggler. Archer with strength. He's been aggressive right from the word go today. Now it's going to come back to Allison, I think, who'll take it. He's in the middle. Looks down towards half forward. Carey's there. Longmire is there. Carey recovers. He shoots in towards full forward. Will it bounce away? It does, but away to the right and through for one behind. Every point counting though. North bench with Alex Ashenko still there. 9-12, plays 7-2. McKenna to bring it back into play. Dean Kemp, he started on the bench today. He finds Mitchell White.
What a beautiful user of the ball Guy McKenna is in each circumstance, and kicking off from fullback today. He's had to pinpoint. Again, he does it.
Well, that was just great interception by Glenn Freeborn. The youngster fancies himself from 55. He's got a bit of a breeze at his back. But he hasn't kicked a goal in senior footy, so this will be a special moment for him. Let's see what he can do. I tell you what, it would be a wonderful feeling for North supporters. A stammering approach. He goes with a flat-looking punt kick, but going for distance, he's pulled it to the left reasonably harshly out of bounds on the full. Well, he went for the doctor, Terry.
He did, and rightfully so. When a young man playing only his second game of league football, I think it's quite an occasion, and if you have the opportunity to get your first one, have a go, son. Well done.
Jakovic to bring it back into play. His eighth kick, kicks it high, floating towards the boundary line, and only to be marked by that man again, Freeborn. Decides to chip in, and finding Stevens on 52 metres. Very similar spot to where Freeborn had a shot. Kicks in, looking for Carey. Punched clear by Jakovic again. Scott in the front position. Matera uses his body well, bumps him out of the way, goes for a run, looking for Gehrig, but only to find Schwass interception. Could be best on ground. Looking for Roberts and finds him 65, 70 metres out from their goal. Looking to settle. Goes the long torpedo. Bounces to the right for one behind.
And John Worsfold has come back onto the ground, but again he's gone to the forward line, and perhaps under this avalanche of pressure from North Melbourne, he should be back in defence.
23 points the margin. Carey comes over the top. We've got a throw in. Left half forward. Laidley deciding on a little piece of aerial work. Carey again, this time with Kemp. Rock put Armstrong under a bit of pressure. Blakey almost threw it out to Schwartz, who in turn almost threw it on to Simpson, who shovels it eventually to the line. Well, here's another youngster who's done well, Adam Simpson, Terry.
He's playing his first game of league football. It's been a long apprenticeship for Adam Simpson, playing reserves all last year and all this year, but originally from Northern Knights.
Longmire tries to flick it over the back. Matera's under pressure, but he's pushed into the ground. It's an interesting one because North fans may say, well, what happened to Robert Scott on the other side of the ground only seconds ago? Matera has it on half back. Hardly direct. He goes across to McKenna. Now, this man can use a ball beautifully. He's got Brennan. Finds him almost down towards the middle. Thought about Turley wide, but then chips to the wing and Don Pike. Pike's got Lewis loose. A sweeping hand pass to Chris Lewis. He's outside 50. He gets claimed, but he gets the hand pass to Turnbull. Turnbull off to Simmons, but it's too high. And it's over the line. Quiet day for Paul Simmons. Socket off the ground by Armstrong, and it spins over the line. Well, there's 13 and a half minutes remaining. The Eagles desperately need a goal.
They sure do, Sandy. A bit of an understatement. 9-13 plays 7-2. Armstrong off the ground. Oh, good body work by Banfield and Archer. Great to see. It's been like that all day, throwing the bodies in. North Melbourne are determined to win this game. Rock and Matera shoving. Matera has given away a free kick for tampering with Rock's shoulder. Rock plays on quickly, looking for Carey, too high for him, and Jakovic takes a strong mark. But a great game today, Glenn Jakovic. Plays on to McKenna. McKenna looks very well balanced as he runs out of the back line, touching the ball onto the ground. Kicks straight up the ground, and only to find Wayne Schwass interception. Schwass, not a good handball to find King, but a free kick again. Schwass was held after he got rid of the ball. Schwass has had 13 kicks, and that was his 10th handball to Laidley. Laidley kicks long up through the middle of the ground, over the top of Archer's head. Turley, short kick to Wilson. Wilson a couple of steps, and a long kick inside 50, looking for ball. Ball, well pushed off the ball by McKernan. Great pressure by McKernan. Had a great game against ball. Over Stevens' head and Simmons. Archer held. Play on. Stevens sells the dummy. Drives it up long, looking for Longmire up into the goal square. Longmire and Carey. King Carey. Great mark by Carey in the goal square. Will not miss to put North Melbourne's 10th goal on the board.
And could go a long way towards sealing it for the Roos.
It just also goes to show there's no justice in the game for a defender. I mean, Glenn Jakovic, I think, has been the best player for the West Coast Eagles. Held Carey well. Here's Carey to goal. So the first goal of the final quarter comes in halfway through it, and it's a result of Anthony Stevens. What a hard worker he is here, just outside 50. He tests the game here by driving the ball long and hard into it, and Carey now has the opportunity to be able to score the goal, and does it. 48 for the season, 287 for the year.
So a battle now for the West Coast. It's 10-13 North. The Eagles are 7-2. From the middle, McKenna pushes towards the wing. It's socket off the ground by Roberts, wide towards the boundary line. Stevens even further. McKenna almost held, and eventually taken over by Schwass for a throw-in. On centre wing, the smiling Wayne Schwass has had an excellent day. 13 kicks, 6 marks, 10 hand passes, tells the story. Kemp tries to flick it on towards Banfield, who gets a hurried high kick up towards half forward. A big clash of players. There's courage wanted today. Lyle gets flattened, but he gets it away towards Ball, who gets a high kick in towards full forward. They've all got to sit and wait. Just great courage. Here's Bond, 35 out, back to Ball again. He gets boot to Ball, but he's under so much pressure. And over it goes. That is just sensational.
Jason Ball was the difference between the two sides when they last met at the Wacker, and it's been Corey McKernan who went back to do the task today and has done it so very well.
In the right forward pocket for the Eagles, almost a kicking in danger. Out on the full. Blakey to defend. No one on the mark, so away goes John Blakey. Towards centre wing, towards Roberts. Brennan taken over the line by Archer. Simmons, a beautiful pickup, a centering kick. No one able to take it, just a little too high. Lewis, a chip into the pocket. Again, too high for Turley. He sockers off the ground, deeper into the forward zone. And Wayne Schwass, like a slippery piece of soap, sees it over the boundary. Unable to pick it up.
North Melbourne by 29 points. McKernan gets the tap. He's done that all day in front of his opponent, Jason Ball. Lewis unable to pick it up. Conditions not suiting most. Kicked along the ground by North Melbourne defenders. Archer now in front. Good body work, good defensive work now. Armstrong along the ground, clever to Stevens, manages to keep it in. Good follow-up work by Simpson. Archer again. Stevens a fresh air. Simmons now around the corner, trying to put West Coast back into attack. Bond gets the sit. Handball off the ground to Lewis. Not much certainty there with running with the flight of the ball. Now it's a chance for North Melbourne in King. And Simpson allows the ball to go out of bounds. About 70 metres round from West Coast goals. Under 10 minutes remaining in the last quarter. 29 points for North Melbourne. Kemp. Turley. Banfield to Matera. Good pressure by North Melbourne. West Coast are being smothered by everything. Good pressure.
Rodney, Dennis Pagan just having a quiet chat on the phone. Lovely Saturday afternoon.
Who'd be a coach then?
Golly. Brennan caught. The ball spills free to Robert Scott, another 150-gamer. Into the middle, away goes Armstrong. Across comes Pike. They clash. Rock gets the hand pass away. Here goes King. Down the middle. Down towards Allison. It's a beautiful kick. He saw him and he just chipped away.
A sensational kick. King has checked his swing as his legs coming through, held it back just momentarily after seeing Allison and giving him a little bit of air. Allison now lining up for his third goal.
Had the 3-iron out, put it away and got out the pitching wedge. That could be the sealer here at Optus. It is. Three goals to Brett Allison, but more importantly, the 11th to North Melbourne.
And what great run here from King. He's been a workhorse. You can just see there how he checked his kick once he had seen Allison and found him so very well. Allison, 3 goals, has been a live wire across the forward line for the North Melbourne side today.
It's North Melbourne by 35 points. West Coast desperately need more goals. They've only got 8 minutes left in the last quarter to get them. Now North Melbourne clearing back up towards their forward line. We've got a chase with Rock and Pike and Archer. And the 3 of them see it over the boundary line. 65 metres round from the North Melbourne goal. Few problems for Mickey Malthouse. What can he do? Lewis and Archer. Archer fists forward. Roberts, a standing start, kicks towards the pocket. Carey in front of Jakovic. Can he weave some magic? Unable to do so in these conditions, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Terry, it's not just the 4 premiership points, but I'm sure that the Eagles would be thinking of a Perth final.
Definitely. Today we're really playing for the top 4 positions in the ladder, and they have missed it. And Optus Oval certainly hasn't been a happy hunting ground for this side.
Pyman on the ground. In towards half forward, but the only one there is Matera. Towards centre wing. He wanted Bond. Schwass is there. He's the best player on the ground today. Wayne Schwass swings it into the centre, and there he finds King. He's put away his golf clubs now, and he's given it to the junkyard dog. Laidley in towards half forward. Big pack of players. No one marks. Pike almost throws it out to Turley, and it finishes over the line.
7 minutes remaining in the last quarter. North Melbourne by 35 points. Can they steal another one now? Longmire slips around to Allison, and Allison slips it right through the middle. That's his 4th, and North Melbourne's 12th. Some great-looking supporters.
James Morrison.
Bugle boy.
And 2 distinct halves for Brett Allison. His first half, he was the man alone in the full forward line, given space. In his second half now, he's the rover. Great goal.
A fired-up Roo combination on the way to 4 premiership points here at Optus Oval. 12-13 plays 7-2. Out of the middle they go again, and it's Dean Laidley down to half forward. The horse, Johnny Longmire, chips inside 50 to man of the moment, Stevens. Will have a shot. Anthony Stevens has had a big day. 17 kicks, 4 marks and 3 hand passes. And it's going to be tough to give the votes here at Optus Oval, Terry Wheeler. He goes short. It's effective. Mitchell White caught behind John Longmire. And he'll have a shot. Been a long time between goals for John Longmire. He kicked 1 in the first quarter. That was his 469th career goal. So let's see what he can do this time. Yeah. Quiet day for him. Just a couple of kicks.
But North Melbourne have dominated right throughout, Sandy. I mean, they've had some 30 extra possessions to that the West Coast Eagles have been able to muster.
Well, 5 minutes to go, and the Eagles haven't scored in this quarter. North Melbourne have kicked another goal. So they're rolling home now. Longmire gets his second. 13-13 plays 7-2.
And Mick Malthouse certainly has the pressure placed upon him in now as the game has got well and truly out of the West Coast Eagles' grasp. North Melbourne dominant through the midfield, and not through necessarily slick use of the ball, but through sheer aggression at the man and at the ball. Longmire, his second goal.
Well, that's North Melbourne's 4th goal for the quarter, and West Coast have yet to kick one. Off the ground by Pyman. Pike. West Coast midfielders have been very quiet today. Pike, not a great influence on the game. Same with Matera, and also Kemp, who spent some time on the bench, as mentioned earlier. Ball up in the centre of the ground. Turnbull and Roberts. Schwass, best on ground for North Melbourne, is caught trying to barge through the pack, and another throw up. We're inside 5 minutes left in the last quarter. It looks like it could be curtains for West Coast today, and a few problems leading into the finals. Lyle unable to pick up the ball. Given back to Kemp, around the body, and only to find Ross Smith, who had a fantastic first half for North Melbourne and a rock of Gibraltar for their defence. Centre wing to Stevens. Diving mark. Kick off 1 step to Longmire, unable to mark. Keeps his footing. Fends off White. Round the body now. Carey. But Matera rolls the ball over for 1 behind.
13-14 plays 7-2. 92 plays 44. McKenna to Gehrig. He kicks towards centre wing. A floating kick. Oh, fine mark by the fisherman Fairley. Away he goes to Wayne Schwass. Drills one to Dean Laidley. He can go over the top if he likes to King. King has a look down towards Stevens. He's 55 out. It's a long kick. It's a goal. Ho, 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 go North. Ah, yes, 14-14 plays 7-2. Supporters ecstatic.
Oh, and they have every right to be. Wayne Carey hasn't been the influence this man here is. Wayne Schwass is the key to North Melbourne, I think. Closely followed by this goal kicker, Anthony Stevens. Does he work hard in the centre of the ground? Great work.
Well, that's Stevens' first goal for North Melbourne. North Melbourne's 14th. 98 plays 44, and another ball up in the centre of the ground. North Melbourne kicking with probably a 2 to 3 goal breeze, but they have kicked 5 goals, and West Coast have been held goalless. Turnbull only to be intercepted by Schwass. Kicks it wide. Brennan has the front position in front of Archer. Doing well, Brennan. Off the ground by North Melbourne. Again. And it's by Anderson, who takes it out of bounds about 65 metres out from North Melbourne goals. They're in attack again.
Young Stuart Anderson. On for another run. It's Blakey tries to take it out of the air. Matera shove. Anderson wants to get in the thick of things naturally, but the umpire decides he'll have it. 98 plays 44. North easily here at Optus Oval in the end. Rock tries to thump it down. So it'll be celebrations tonight for the 150 boys, Robert Scott and Matty Armstrong. It's ironic that both played 132 games at their former clubs, as Mickey Malthouse and Tim Jepp look on. Archer comes over the top, belts it down towards Allison, puts them inside 50. Carey was trying desperately to get it on to Scott going past. Just a little too much pressure from Glenn Jakovich. And another throw in. Just a couple of minutes remaining. So North keep their top four hopes alive. Brennan caught by Archer. Gee, his aggression has been a real example right from the word go, Terry.
It has. He's really led the side. I mean, the whole contest has been very, very fierce right throughout. The heat's certainly gone out of it now with North Melbourne in control, but it's a credit to all the participants in this game, particularly in the first half when the hard ball had to be won. Everyone was prepared to get in there, and North Melbourne at the end of the day have won out in that particular regard.
There's the man, Archer, 8 kicks and 7 handballs. Good game by him. Longmire tries to flick it over the back for the North Melbourne runners, but no one was there. Kemp off the ground.
Schwass, brilliant work by Wayne Schwass, decides to go for the boundary line.
Matera keeping his feet, and Pyman. Anderson's on the bottom. And another ball up. Umpire Goldspink decides. About a metre away from the boundary line. A minute and a half left to go in the quarter. Blakey has the run. Close to the boundary line. Dribbles one into inside 50. Chance for Archer now in front of Brennan. Around the corner, Archer. Oh, it's been touched on the line. One behind. Takes North Melbourne to 14-15-99 to West Coast 7-2-44.
McKenna to bring it back into play. Heads towards Jakovich and Turnbull. Neither can take it. Here he is. B.O.G. Finish it off with a goal. And he does exactly that. You want 3 votes? You've got it. 15-15 plays 7-2.
That was magnificent.
Well, they may be not yours to give away, Sandy, but I will follow you. Wayne Schwass has been absolutely fantastic today. Even in that particular play here, he was checked. Turnbull went out of his way to block Schwass out of this contest for Jakovich, and he is able then to go on and look at the reaction. Rightfully so, Wayne Schwass. Congratulations.
He's been watching Andrew Jarman.
But he's not throwing kisses to the crowd.
Not yet.
105 plays 44. It's all over for West Coast today. Blakey through the centre. Here's the man of the moment, Wayne Schwass. Another handball. Off to centre wing. Anderson and Rock now chasing. Rock manages to pick it up, has plenty of time. Kicks it now around the body. A bit of a floater, looking for Carey. It's McKenna and Jakovich to mop up for West Coast. Jakovich to Matera. Off to Kemp now, running out of the back line to Banfield. A bit of change of direction now. Straight through the middle, only to find Laidley right on his chest.
Fine slips catch by Dean Laidley. Takes it towards Blakey territory on the outer side. Banfield's got him on the outer wing. Away he goes, sneaks away from Banfield. John Blakey kicks towards half forward. Archer in with a late spoil. Carey in towards goal, tries to bend it back, but not far enough. And one behind goes on the board. Dennis Pagan, Rocket, Rodney Eade.
They would have cause to be very pleased, particularly with their defensive unit today. Laidley, Blakey, McKernan going back onto ball, and Ross Smith have all been very, very good.
McKenna again will probably come to Pike. He does. He delivers the ball so beautifully, McKenna. But today, it's North's day. And they don't have many better final terms than that. They have kept the West Coast Eagles not only goalless, but scoreless in the final quarter. Allison finished with 4 goals. Wayne Schwass was an absolute sensational player, and he's down there with Dipper.
Thanks very much, Sandy. Well, an inspirational game, Wayne. Throughout the week, Dennis Pagan must have said something about last week, the commitment.
Yeah, we've last 2 weeks things haven't worked out our way, and there's been a lot of questions put our way about our commitment and our desire, whether we're a real contender for the finals. And I think that we played our best when we got our backs against the walls, and I think that we haven't answered every question, but we've certainly taken a big step forward.
And your own form was just terrific today. You slept well last night, obviously.
I slept very well. No, it was just good. I mean, it's always a bonus to win, but also to play well. And we sort of struggled, and it was up to our leaders today to sort of show the way. And I think that we sort of did that, and everyone else followed.
There's some young boys too. Young Pyman, I thought, played quite well today.
Pyman, he didn't come into the last quarter.
Simpson.
Yeah, he did really well. I mean, the pressure was on him to come into a big game.
Freeborns at first, I was talking.
Yeah, I think both the young kids that come in, it's a credit to them, and they didn't let us down all day.
We'll go and enjoy it, mate, and well played.
Yes, thanks, Dipper. And Wayne Schwass, well, he's knocked up getting kicks today as the North players go over to their fans. There's the coaching panel. They are BIT.
Which is?
Back in town. Turning it all around after 3 losses. It's the final scoreline here. What a final term. 15-16, 106. They ran out 62-point winners. The West Coast 7-2-44, and still the trumpeter goes off. Final score here at Optus Oval, and a very interesting looking scoreboard, isn't it? The West Coast Eagles scoreless in the final term. North Melbourne running right, booting 6-6 to finish 15-16, 106. West Coast 7-2, 44. And I must confess, Terry, at 3/4 time, I think we both thought, well, 3 or 4 kicks in it. 3 or 4 kicks is not a lot in today's game of football, but it was all one-way traffic.
It was, Sandy. I mean, they're in the 3rd quarter there. North Melbourne were working up into the breeze, and West Coast Eagles got 2 goals, but North were able to match them with those 2 goals in that 3rd quarter. And so it come into the 3rd quarter, and North Melbourne just took complete control. Whether it was from their defence, where Laidley, Smith and Blakey were very, very sound, or whether it was through the midfield, they had complete dominance. And Brett Allison finished off a very good day in the end with some 4 goals. Here is his 4th one. So he was able to get them, whether marking or whether roving contests. He was a very good player in the forward line. West Coast Eagles really struggled for answers to the North Melbourne side today. I thought particularly in the first half where North Melbourne were very conscious of pushing all players up the ground and really crowded up the West Coast forward line, but I think also then exposed the West Coast defence one-on-one, and some of the contests one-on-one, North Melbourne won too easily. But this last shot here of Wayne Schwass really depicts North Melbourne's dominance in the second half. He was the player that really did instigate this wing, and rightfully so. He sits on top of that statistical analysis of the game with some 31 possessions and many, many teammates right throughout. They dominated the play, being able to share the ball around. When we look in contrast to the West Coast Eagles one, well, you really struggle to find players who would have that same sort of dominance on the game. Lewis some possessions, but wasted many opportunities with trying to kick long bombs. Peter Wilson got ball, but not quality ball. They just didn't have enough. It was a disappointing effort from the West Coast Eagles, who I thought at the beginning of the game would be a very, very good side, but once again at the Optus Oval, Sandy, they have paled away.
Let us continue your statistical analysis, as you so delightfully put it, and here are your votes for Sportsworld's Player of the Year.
Well, Wayne Schwass was the standout player right throughout. Anthony Stevens, a tremendous worker in the midfield. Whether he's doing a shutting down job for his coach or whether he's an offensive player, he works so hard. And the one vote I gave to Corey McKernan. Jason Ball was the difference between these two sides when they last met. McKernan going back to defence, an exceptional job on him.
All right, thank you, Terry. Wayne Schwass getting the votes here at the Optus Oval. We'll take a break and then be back to check on all the action at the MCG. Round 18 continues, of course. North Melbourne victorious here at the Optus Oval. Big game at the MCG, though, between Melbourne and the Bombers. For a report on that, here's Peter Landy.
Thanks, Andy. Well, 52,000 fans saw Essendon come away this afternoon and win by 33 points, and that was the margin at half-time. We had much a similar pattern in the second half, with the Bomber big men absolutely dominating play from midfield. Somerville was brilliant, and Alessio finished the game with 4 goals. For Melbourne, Sean Smith tried particularly hard. He also finished up with 4, and in the last quarter, he took what I think is a mark that's going to go close to mark of the year. 33 points in favour of the Bombers. Let's see some highlights now of the final turn.
Comes up towards half forward. Uzo. No one coming past. Finally, Lovett onto the left foot. Snapshot well off target. Smith. Yes, he's got the mark. Sean Smith.
That's Smith.
Kicks, and I think he's missed. Right on the goal umpire. He's got it.
This short chipping game that Melbourne often play, chipped in by Danaher, and Danaher has Mercury. Yes, he gets behind Hopgood. Now goes for goal, and that'll be a goal, not a problem. Great skills.
Certainly suiting Essendon. Steve Phoebe knocks it down to the advantage of Dyson. Bounce is going to be a factor here. Hilton runs onto it, gets the bounce that he wanted. 45 out and closing, goes at goal and kicks a brilliant goal for the D's. Probably too far out to score. Realises that. Lyon was the target. Obst off the ground. Hilton, who kicked a good goal earlier in the quarter. Can he make it another one with a snap? Oh, that's better than the last one. Well, Fletcher, both up. None can bring it down. Lovett, as we said, he worked hard. Seacamp, from a standing start, bombs it in. Oh, Smith! What a mark! Mark of the day. 3-1 he's kicked. He can become the D's leading goal kicker today if he's accurate. Deserves a goal, that mark, and he gets it.
And the final scores here at the MCG, 33 points in favour of the Bombers. Alessio 4, Long 3, Salmon 4, 4-3 actually. It was the downside for Essendon. Salmon carried from the ground on a stretcher in the last quarter.
Yeah, it's not sure exactly what it was, Pete, but certainly as he came down after a marking contest, he looked to hurt his ankle, but I can't be specific on that, so hopefully he won't be too bad. But they just dominated all around the ground, didn't they? And they were particularly led well by Somerville out of the centre, and then Alessio. And Salmon, if he had a kick straight, Pete, would he kick 4-3?
Yeah, he was pretty good. Gary O'Donnell was... Well, he was everywhere as well, wasn't he?
He did very well. In fact, he matched up for most of the day against Brett Lovett, who had a fair bit of the footy, but just didn't have the support, and I thought O'Donnell used the ball so much better. And as we mentioned, their half-back line was rebounding very well. Hurd finished up going down underneath, but Harvey chipped in at centre-half forward, did very well, so their flexibility was very good today.
And to Melbourne's credit, they fought it out well. 33 points at half-time, but still going down by 33. So repeating the final score, 15-16, 106 Essendon, defeating Melbourne, 11-7, 73. Sandy, back to you at Princes Park.
Thank you, boys. Peter Landy and Ross Glendinning at the MCG. We'll take a break and then be back to check on the remaining clash that was played at Waverley.
Wake up to the big names and the big stories every Sunday morning on Sportsworld.
Final match to look at today, of course, was out at Waverley between St Kilda and Adelaide. Adelaide, as we've known, haven't travelled well in the past. Let's see how they fared today. Firstly, with some highlights from Waverley.
Kick by Pittman. Short of half forward. Big pack gathering. Wakeland punches down. McLeod's got toe. Pass is good for Jarman. Oh, what a mark by Jarman. Very quiet day for Andrew Jarman. But gee, can give the Crows a chance if he can kick this goal. A perfect kick. Tyson Edwards. Shaw, good hand pass under pressure. Out to Smith. A free kick was going to be paid. Advantage. Lowe gets the hand pass. Maybe a St Kilda goal here. O'Brien. And he's kicked it.
Here's Wakeland. This is Daryl Wakeland. To half back, and Nigel Smart. Oh, is that 50? Is the umpire going to drag him 50? I don't think so, is he? Oh,
yes,
he is. So the kick from directly in front, Nigel Smart has kicked the goal. Marks comes across here to Jarman. Jarman to Rasciuto, punched away by Frawley. He's a good, honest player, Frawley, but here's Nigel Smart, the dangerous Smart, hooking it back in front of goal. A great goal, a brilliant goal by Smart. Jim Bardsley, kick the ball, son. I don't know why they want to handball it all the time, St Kilda. Kicking into the breeze, you must run and kick it long. Here's Keogh. Over the top. Here's a goal coming up. The Saints a chance to hit the front. O'Brien a goal.
Tasker.
Tregenza runs into an open goal. Smart back with the fight. A brilliant mark and a goal. Great play, Nigel Smart. Player, but 3 or 4 times he's lost vital possessions. Tregenza. On the mark, Rasciuto. Here's Nigel Smart. Brings it in front of goal. Danger for St Kilda. Oh, Sarakosi has dropped the centre of a mark and Jarman's kicked the goal.
I think they might be doing the Jarman shuffle in Adelaide tonight because the Crows successful at Waverley. 14-14, 98. Nigel Smart booted 3. St Kilda a disappointing second half. They kicked just 2 goals, 3. Lowe finished the day with 3. And O'Brien also booted 3. Before we look at the ladder, let's go down to Dipper once again.
Thanks very much, Sandy. Good news is there's no reports and no injuries to both sides. Very calm scenes in the North Melbourne rooms, but obviously very, very happy. And Wayne Swass's dad was just jumping with joy because his son played a marvellous game. Now, a couple of friends here from Tasmania, Leroy and Catherine, obviously North Melbourne supporters. Now, Leroy, you've come all the way from Tasmania. What would you do with that? What do you do with that thing?
The 1995 AFL Premiership League ladder, brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Well, it's a very, very difficult act to follow, but we'll try and have a look at the ladder. And North Melbourne, with their victory today, moved to 11 wins, with North Melbourne and Adelaide keep their very faint finals hopes alive. Of course, so much will depend what happens tomorrow when round 18 continues.